You'll be on my stream now.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for everybody who tuned into the stream.
Yeah, thanks.
Don't worry, Matthias.
Just
I'm
waiting
dragging
for
you
you
over to me now.
Are you set up yet? So I can
Yeah, you
read.
should be able to read.
Okay.
I'm just setting up my chat on my phone so I can see it.
Are you gonna
Alright.
Are you gonna stream now,
Yep.
Thomas? Okay.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for joining, and I will see you around. Stay stretchy. And it's gonna rain 5, 4.
Oh yeah, by the way,
3,
you're still live
2.
on my stream.
Oh. Raid Shadow Legend.
What's
Go.
stay stretchy? I like it. That's like flexible, ready to do all kinds of cool things.
It's just because I stretch all the time on my
Oh,
stream.
of course. Dude, you need to start Stretch Gang. What's up, Stretch Gang?
Stretch Squad.
Oh my god, JTF
Stretch-
Designs just raided. What's up, Stretch Gang?
Wow.
Wow!
Crazy. I didn't know you're streaming, Thomas.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm streaming like right now. I was actually watching your stream earlier. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I had this guest on called Thomas.
Stupid name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mason, who would have thought?
Who would have thunk?
We did bunk it.
I
Alright.
gotta catch your stream.
Farewell,
Let me see
brother.
real quick. I'll just be on your
Buddha. Okay.
just to see.
Hmm?
And then after that, I'm gonna be heading off myself.
Oh, of course, stick around as long as you like.
Oh wow, looking great.
Oh, of course, you can see my screen now. Yeah, I'm committing to the idea that essentially it's gonna be like a what's it called? Exoskeleton sort of deal, a situation with the arms. So her arms are actually going to be closer to her body.
Oh man.
And what I'd like to show it is that like when she's preparing food, she can get the arms like locked together like this, and then like use this area as like a place to prepare food and whatever, like chopping stuff with a knife,
Oh, I love
onions
this
and
idea.
stuff, and then maybe there could be something which holds the pot here with the
I
lid open.
love that.
And so just making everything bigger actually makes it perfect for this because it means there's space for everything.
Shouldn't the gauntlet or whatever, or vambraces, whatever they're called, be flat?
So that's it. I haven't yet modified it, but I think essentially I'm going to have to put this like maybe a big half semicircle here, something that's going to like clearly link up. I'll put like some sort of linking tooth on that edge, and yeah, it'll be flat and have like chopping board marks on it and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I approve.
Figured you would.
Oh man, I feel like I'm so cheap that way. It's like anything food. I'm like, hell yeah.
Nah, dude, you're like the, what's a good word for it? Maestro comes to mind, but I don't really mean that. I mean, you're the the person that's all about food. Like you have all the knowledge. You're the expert, but there's a better word than expert.
I don't know.
You're my consigliere when it comes to food. I can come to you and you can tell me what I should do.
Connoisseur.
Connoisseur, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
How did you forget that word, fool?
I'm sorry. I'm stupid.
But if the pot can already float, do you really need a table?
She needs to chop her veg then, you know?
True. Oh, you can have the veggies.
And now I'm resting the pot on her leg anyway, so...
Okay.
At least somewhat.
Careful, it's hot.
Careful.
Oh, oh.
Hey, Sang, what's up? How you doing?
And I do like that though. Even the pants are like the heat-proof kind of like mitten material.
Yeah, it's like Gambeson, because all of this stuff is going to be themed around like kind of medieval armor / steampunky stuff. It's going to be medieval Gambeson, but it's heat resistant, obviously.
Very nice.
The chef's hat is going to be iron. It's going to be like one of those sculptural helmets.
Oh, very nice.
which should be cool. Yeah.
I
So-
feel like somewhere there should be like, instead of a weapon rack, there's like a rack for like chef's tools.
Yeah, I can't. I have some random pots and pans sticking out the top. I'm gonna put them in a better place.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like it was hanging or something.
yeah, and then like I could put spice rack in here, spices.
Always resigns said in the chat, that is so suck.
All right, whatever. So mean. I'm gonna remember that. That's a great insult. Dude, that is so suck. Whoever you tell it to will like pause for a moment and be like, sorry, what did you
There's
just
just
say?
some like letters on the keyboard that if you just mistype one letter, it can change things entirely.
Yeah.
Even
I
a
love
comma can change things entirely.
Yeah, but that's like a little bit less accidental.
it. The panda. It's
A little bit
shits
less
and lives.
accidental. It could be trivial. Like, let's go eat Sam and Sarah, or let's go eat Sam and Sarah. You know.
I like that one.
Well, but still,
But still, you know.
You know.
it's like helping your Uncle Jack off a horse. Or you can help your Uncle Jack off a horse.
I haven't heard that one before.
It's one of those that has floated around the internet.
Silence says, what do you call a deliberate happy accident?
Wait, is that an actual question or a riddle?
I'm guessing it's a riddle. My first instinct is just to say one of us, but that's a bit cheap. I don't know.
What do you call a
Waiting
deliberate
for
happy
fun.
accident?
It's like a deliberate happy accident is just when you start a painting with scribbles, knowing full well that you're going to try and make something from it.
An intentional mistake, I don't know.
Pregnancy.
Small brain boys already made that joke.
I swear I was on the pill.
Man, I feel like I'm polluting your stream.
No. Also, what's the audio of Matthias and Jordan's voice like at the moment? Is it loud enough?
I feel like you have a tendency to make the desktop audio lower, and as a consequence, that makes us lower.
Yeah,
What do you mean? Yeah.
So this is the thing. At the moment, it appears to be the same volume because what I've done, I've turned myself down so that you're louder. But last stream, that didn't seem to be enough. Okay. And I'm controlling the master volume that comes after the controls that would make you quieter, so that you're not too loud for me.
Okay.
So I think it's okay. The other question is just whether the music is then too loud because I can't turn down the music separately to their voice. If you're curious, by the way, we listen to microtonal string quartet, so stuff sounds weird. That's why. I love it though. It's a good point. We're actually quite a consonant part of the music. Let's get back to the beginning. This is my favorite bit.
What are you listening to? Because I do not have the Twitch thing.
Oh yeah, I'll link it to you. It's Ben Johnston.
Sounds like a jazz musician's name.
I mean,
does.
it's pretty jazzy. There was a video by Adam Neely, and he's describing the levels of jazz harmony. And his highest level is when you disregard the standard 12-tone scale and free yourself.
Yabba bada bada bum 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 bum. Yabba bum bum. Sorry.
Haha.
Also, give me a second. I need to turn off the light that I turned on to take photos of my seeds.
Oh, I think I know this one.
It's gorgeous. Anyway, I'll be back in a sec.
Are you working on something right now?
Yes, I'm working on the ArtStation challenge.
Oh,
as well. Yeah.
lovely.
Have you seen some of the posts I've made, or?
Yeah, I've been complimenting it, and you didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's like nothing from you.
Oh, Matthias.
I swear, I'm not trying. I don't. I found the. Do you reply to everybody, Thomas? Because it does. From what I remember, it does this kind of weird thing where it doesn't.
Yeah, no.
directly...
All replies it puts in chronological order, so there's no replying to specific people unless you type their name in.
Yeah.
Which is a pain.
You didn't write anything. In my thing. What do you mean?
I did. I
No,
just
you
said
didn't.
it's good, man. Well, whatever.
You said it was good, but I thought you meant that you wrote in my thing. But if you said so before, then thank you.
Oh, right, yeah. I assumed that, Jordan, you meant that you had written a comment.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't do that.
Zodiar. Hello, how are you? Welcome.
Alright, boys.
Welcome to the Stretch Gang.
What? Don't appropriate it.
It's mine now.
You gotta stretch to be part of the stretch gang.
I am. My mind.
You're like the least stretchy out of all of us.
Yeah, whatever.
You can't even touch the floor. With
You know, you should probably say I can't even touch my toes, because that's more true than not being able to touch the floor. I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah. Or your knees.
What?
Okay, maybe it's not that bad, but still.
I mean, being sedentary at home for a while, it's had its toll. But who needs knees anyway?
Damn it, no. That's not true. It's just the camera making it look it that way. Of course, the taller you are, the longer your legs get, but your arms stay the same size. Of course. That's exactly it.
Brilliant. Anyway, sorry, I very much interrupted your departure.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm gonna head off now, just because I think people are getting a little bit tired of my quips.
I like your quips. Are you just chilling for the rest of the evening then?
Yeah, spend some time with Sylvie.
Thanks. That sounds like a very good plan.
I have no idea what quips mean.
It's like
Quiplash.
What? What have we been doing all this time? It's not just a name that means nothing. But yeah, in any case, yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well. Quiplash.
I can't wait. And in fact, I mean, maybe it would just be us with maybe Axel. We could do I guess everyone can, as long as it's
You
just
can do it
clear.
without
But
me.
we could do it with an audience. We could do it on stream.
Oh god. Sometime maybe.
I
But
think that would
feel
be
like
fun.
That would be fun, but I feel like it would just not go so well.
My
with
thoughts
my-
are that it could end up being very art related, which would be really
Yeah.
cool.
That's true. I think we can arrange it sometime. But yeah, we've just been playing Jackbox over the weekends, over the lockdown island. So it's gone pretty crazy. So yeah, it might be fun to stream it sometime. Usually it ends up with with me just choking up from laughter or literally laughing to tears.
But how many people can you fit in? Oh, it's 10, isn't it? In a Scriblio game, we can do Scribble.io as well.
Scriblio might be really fun because
because
there's
like
a lot.
really, it's based on getting the chat from everyone. So
Yeah, hey, that would be cool sometime. Just like a Scriblio game with the viewers. Scriblio mouse only, exactly. Exactly, Ruben. That's why I don't feel like it'll be so good to show what we really draw on Jackbox. I'm very cautious about that.
Well, I mean, we play it with a mouse, or on Jackbox, it's drawing on your phone.
I'm a Scriblio savant.
I feel like we would all be classed as pretty good compared to the
average person.
The average player, because I played like 5 minutes of it after we finished.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
Oh man, they were.
It was just some terrible,
bad.
terrible drawing. And then
They were
terrible
just
guessing as
biting.
well. It was hilarious.
Yeah. They couldn't even spell avocado correctly.
That was
I can spell anything correct. The fact I just know the word, but I type too fast, or I'm just for some reason I just become really bad on the keyboard.
I mean, it's definitely like we're at an unfair advantage, or at least I am, because I should probably be better at spelling than all of you.
That's presumptuous.
Yeah, it's presumptuous, but it makes.
Oh, I can kind of understand what silent means, but it's not just that I don't understand it. When in English, I just don't. My vocabulary is so limited. I'm too stupid.
Yeah, no. When you you just don't know the English word for like an object that you can clearly see, because a lot of the time you work out what it is and then you're just going through synonyms.
Yeah.
And of course, again, it's probably expected that I'd know more synonyms for stuff. So it's an advantage.
Synonym rolls.
Where does cinnamon roll? There's like a quote that says something about cinnamon rolls. It's one of the Simpson tracks.
I don't know. How am I supposed to know? Alright, anyways, with that said, I should head off. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, guys. Let's do it again sometime.
Yes.
Alright.
Farewell.
Bye-bye.
See you guys tomorrow.
Love you. No homo though.
And thank you, Xylin. Full homo. Alright, anyways, see you chat and see you guys. Enjoy the rest of the stream.
We will. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Alright, Matt, what do you want to do?
What do I want to do? I want to draw.
I want to draw. What you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about? Whatever that comes up.
Fair enough.
Blows up.
Shall we, do you want to do a chat with people?
Yeah, why not?
Alright.
Why not?
Maybe this time I'll make something more clear on screen. But that's effort. I can't bother. I'm gonna post in Discord about it. That's what I'll do. That's enough. Anyone who's not in the Discord, you can click on the link. Anyone who is in Discord, you can join the general call thing that I will about to switch to with Matthias, so that you can talk and we can have discussions. So yes, leave this. Alright. And then I'll message at... What did I call it? I called it Hangout. Yeah, there we go. In fact, I'm going to rename the Hangout to be Stream Hangout, just so it's clear before people join.
What was it called?
It was just called Hangout before, but this is now the live stream Hangout.
Right.
In fact, I'm gonna put live in caps to make a point. I'm just aware that I don't want people to make any privacy misjudgments.
Uh-huh.
Hello, boys.
Hello. Oh, Ruben. So lovely
Yeah.
of you to join us.
Let's get the poetry again, TCK.
I didn't quite catch that. What was that?
I said it's good to talk to you again.
Oh yes, definitely. How have
been-
been things? Are you working from home at all at the moment?
I'm working from home here in Germany now.
Yeah.
In a dingy apartment. No, it's pretty chill here. We're pretty much back to normal, you know. Everyone's just out like having drinks and stuff. I heard it's pretty bad back in the UK right now.
Yeah, like the current restrictions have been lifted to the extent that they're now saying you can like have gatherings, but you know the point is you still stay 4 meters away from everyone. Some restaurants are starting to open and do like takeaway and stuff.
Where you go to like the window and you, like,
Yeah, exactly, like one at a time, take your things.
Mhm.
But I'm expecting to be working from home probably till the end of the year.
Oh,
And I think that's just because
okay.
that they will start to have people in the studio, but only essential, and they'll like do their best to comply with like the current restriction rules. So just spacing people out within the studio space.
Yeah.
Imagine being inside a house for a whole year, man.
Well, I mean, I'm allowed to go outside,
Yeah, but
as is everyone else. Admittedly, I haven't been outside the whole week, but
yeah,
that's,
but
that's
I
not
mean
the point.
the socializing part still feels very limiting.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Currently, I haven't had any problems with it, but that is because my partner's been staying with me. So.
Yeah, that makes it
am.
a lot easier.
I feel like if I don't like go out the house for a walk like twice a day, I feel like I go insane.
Maybe I was already insane and so nothing changed. I didn't leave and nothing's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, how's work? I don't think I've actually spoken to you particularly about it.
Yeah, man. It's good. It's actually just so cool. It's like, yeah, it's the coolest thing ever, and I actually do really miss going into the office because there's like prototypes and stuff, prototype
Right,
vehicles lying around, and it's really cool stuff. But the project I was working on up to now was just dropped. That was going like 4 years before I got there, and so we're doing like a new one, and it's complete kind of blue sky. So
nice.
I'm right at the start of it, which is pretty fun.
That's
So
really
you're doing pre-production art?
Right now, what I'm doing is so I'm at Daimler, doing Mercedes stuff, and it's like I'm on like the future development team, and so with a new project, it's essentially going to go out to like 5 different departments, like exterior, interior, visualization, a bunch of people. And what they want right now is, because my specialization before wasn't in anything to do with cars, right? Like, I'm not a car guy at all. I don't have a license even. Like, And so I'm just gonna make some like inspirational pieces, and they were like, just go crazy, go as crazy as you want with this idea, and it will just kind of like inspire the other departments.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so nice to not have a restriction.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? It's just like, yeah, just do it.
That's great. So it's like the skunk works.
It's the best thing when there's no like, because when I came into the other project, it was already like 4 years in, and it was so tight, and we were already kind of talking with engineers, and it was like everything had to be so precise. Whereas now it's just like I can just do anything, and it's like gonna be okay.
Yeah, that's like a lovely fresh.
It's like the dream,
fresh
right?
air,
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll still probably have to do like 15 billion iterations, but
Oh yeah.
There's always time to get sick of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the case for everything.
Yeah.
I haven't asked, Ruben, where do you work?
Daimler in Germany. So Mercedes. I work on the Mercedes-Benz campus in their design building.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So
yeah, Daimler's the parent company of Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah. It's actually so like before starting, I was like very skeptical because, like I said, I'm not a car guy. But nobody in the department are per se car guys. We just like everyone's kind of into working on like future technology stuff, you know, and it's tangible. Like the changes potentially that could come from the designs are gonna make something really tangible, and like that's so satisfying, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dude from what's the guy's name who runs THU?
Oh.
What's his name?
I can imagine his surname, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Look.
I know, yeah, it's something like, it's Portuguese, isn't it? I think.
I know who you're talking about.
I think it's Andre.
Yeah.
Andre, yeah. Him and some other THU people came down to the Mercedes thing. And we kind of had like a huge kind of meeting thing, and this was still when Corona was kind of not into Europe yet.
Right. Yeah.
And they were like, it's, you know, it's no problem. We'll just push back the Japanese THU like a few weeks or something, you know. No problem.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, everything went crazy.
They've released something about their plans now, but I can't remember what it was. I think they intend to have both events this year. Still. Really?
Are they doing the other one as well?
Yeah, and I think the location hasn't been announced yet.
Yo.
I think they are, but I'm still not sure.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Because I remember there was a point where I think they were about to start selling tickets for it, or at least they had a date when they would.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Madness.
Oh well.
Absolute madness.
There's one in St. Petersburg. It was the artillery one, and it was a real shame because I couldn't go to that because I was going to be on holiday in Thailand, which of course I'm not doing now either. But
that would have been sick though.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been so cool.
So yeah, neither of those things are happening. But it's kind of like this nice. Oh well, at least I didn't miss out on it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because they'd invited me to do a talk, which is lovely.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I was like, yes, my first talk. But then yeah, of course I couldn't go. But
yeah,
like,
man.
all I said was just like
they should. Yeah, go on.
Oh, it's just like, can I just do it next year instead? And they were like, yeah, sure. So if it continues next year, then hopefully I'll be there.
Yeah, no, that'd be really cool. Yeah, but I was saying, like, you should definitely. I could so see you coming back to THU as like a night, you know, doing a workshop or a talk.
I've been meaning to. I need to ask. I just need to like message around and be like, so what does it take to be a knight? And can I be one?
Yeah,
Please.
yeah. You just want that free food again. That's it.
Well, I mean,
That's what
a
you-
free ticket, everything free. It's just like, THQ costs a lot. There's
Yeah,
also the
yeah.
fact that I think it would be, I would love to sort of give back somehow, but
Mhm.
it doesn't feel like being a knight is as much giving as what you receive from it. So,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
so I think to some extent I would just like, I'd be really inspired to actually make, like, really try my best to make a good talk.
Mm. Yeah, that'd be sick.
I have no idea if I'm really up for that though, because I've done, like recently I did a workshop, an online workshop with a Brazilian school, and that was good fun. It's far from being a talk, but it was the first time I'd like made structured content that I went through in a single session.
Are you much of a public speaker?
So that's it. I don't think so. Not particularly,
He's
but I
technically
have.
doing public speaking right now, though.
But that's the
Yeah,
thing.
true.
I've been practicing it essentially live. I've done bits. I did that BBC thing at one point where I had a fairly large audience of 14, 15-year-olds. They were doing their GCSEs. And that was interesting, but it was hosted by someone else, so I was just answering questions about what I do, which is very easy. And they, like, as soon as it looked like I had finished or I'd run out of stuff to say, the presenter, who was, you know, a proper professional at public speaking, would immediately catch onto it and go, sort of like move it forward. So there
Cover
was like,
you. Yeah.
it felt so comfortable because there was never any point where I was worried that I wouldn't have anything to say, because I know that the guy who's really good at holding an interesting talk would just pop in and be like, so what did you say about this, or go to the next person, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
But what I did just then, I need to stop doing that. I'm conscious that I do lots of ums and ahhing and ing. Slowly iron that out of my speech, and hopefully I should be good.
Yeah. Do you think you could like paint and like draw stuff and design stuff at the same time?
What do you mean, like in a talk context?
Yeah, like if you were there giving the class and actually doing something in real time, do you think you would still be good at like delivering? Because I think I would fumble so bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's easier to fumble with your speech rather than like necessarily doing a bad artwork. I think that really is whether you've warmed up or not. But yes, I think it's very difficult to do a proper talk whilst demonstrating. So what I did in that class, that workshop, was really me talking about stuff and then occasionally drawing something out to demonstrate a point, but I wasn't doing anything properly creative. And yeah, what I'm doing now is far more casual conversation than really trying to explain an idea. And to some extent, a talk might be a bit more like that anyway, because in a talk you're more trying to instill an idea or inspire your audience rather than explain the nitty-gritty of a particular technique, because people can't. It's not very helpful when you go to a talk and they explain how to like render a certain material, because you'll go away feeling really inspired, be like, oh, I'm going to do that, and then the next time you actually get a chance to do it, you've forgotten. I think it always, talks really benefit from being an idea that's a bit more nebulous, that they can think about afterwards, and leaves like a more subconscious sort of impression, rather than something specific that ultimately will probably just be forgotten before it can be put into use.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just don't know what that kind of thing is. Like the generic talk format is, this is my story of how I got to where I am, and
And
I'm like, well, I've sort of heard those before, and I'm sure as hell not going to do that myself. It's important to give context sometimes, but like if people want to know that, wait till question time. Don't make people sit through it, because I personally don't. It doesn't matter, or it's not that interesting. unless you manage to make it interesting. Like, do you remember Loopy Dave's talk? He did a bit more than that, but he did go through roughly what he does and stuff about him. But he made it really fun because he picked out the stuff that was entertaining rather than stuff that was like impressive about his career or whatever.
Yeah.
So something like that would be cool, but his work really fits that sort of type of talk because he's like he really centers in on comedy. So yeah, it's an interesting thought, and I've tossed ideas around in my brain for a while about what talks could be of, and sort of what you could then be not necessarily known for, but what would make your talks different to other people's.
Yeah. How to make it unique.
Yeah, unique basically. Like it'd be great if ultimately you become the person that talks about a topic the best or in the most detail. Like, I don't think there's many topics which are completely untouched, but I've always liked the idea of talking about appeal and how to make things appealing. My worry with that is that it does exactly what I just described, which is going into like too many specifics. But
you can throw out an idea, kind of
Yeah.
similar to how Alberto Mielgo was kind of. He was talking about appeal and aesthetics and showcasing examples of that, but he didn't go into like the details of it. It was just inspiring people, or just handing out the idea itself so that you can perhaps think about it afterwards.
yeah, because like an idea that I've had for a while is about breaking down appeal from like the ground up and talking about. I like the idea of everything being a form of contrast, and just taking that idea to the extreme. So maybe beyond the point that it's actually useful, but starting off with the, like without contrast, they would technically be nothing, sort of stuff. And I think it would be funny because I could present.
You got to start with a controversial statement, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like without nothing or without contrast, the universe is gone from heat death or something stupid.
Heat death, yeah.
So and start like that, but then really apply that to something visual.
Yeah.
Because it's like a bigger idea that I think you could take away and think about, and there wouldn't be a specific way to employ that idea, so you wouldn't feel like you frustratingly forgot how to do the thing that you just got taught.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows?
I realize I've made a bit of a strange mistake with these legs. They have knees in different places.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Bending your knees in different angles. Imagine.
It's multi-directional knee function.
That sounds a little bit useful,
But it's not deliberate. Also, because I've been just chatting, there's a bunch of chat.
Chat and guff. Is this for the competition, the ArtStation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've entered too.
Oh, excellent. You're doing keyframe or environment.
I'm doing environment.
Lovely.
I'm just trying to fit it in with my flip in time, man.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm doing a mentorship with an NPC guy, and then there's this new project at Mercedes. So like, just my day is just taken up entirely. It's just trying to fit in like an hour before bed to work on the competition.
Yeah. No, that's tough. That's tough. Especially if you've got like an assignment thing that you're doing with a cause.
Yeah. It's really good though.
There's a question in the chat. Shall I read it out or wait for later?
Oh no, go for it. I was just about to go to the chat.
Oh yeah, because Sod was asking, is someone else here? No, wait, that's not the one. Question for everyone: what is the artist that influenced you the most in artistic terms? That's the question by Zod.
Good one.
I have nobody.
Hey,
Just
what's
no
up?
one.
This is no joke.
Really, no one.
No.
Wow.
There are some people I like, but I never use their style in my art.
Oh.
Could you answer the question of which artist most represent or looks most similar to your style? Is there an artist that you think looks most similar to your style? Because that's an interesting question that I would be really stumped if someone asked me.
No, I actually think that's a good point because on that topic of answering that question, it's like I think in your head you have an idea, but then your style naturally can sometimes veer to actually the artist which you internally really connect with. Like
And
like
just
for
haven't
instance,
consciously.
for instance, I like many people, I was on the Naughty Dog train for years, and I was like, yeah, that's my goal. It's just Naughty Dog like style, you know. And like actually, most of the stuff I like doing is like fantasy and like more far out style, you know. And I think actually, I really like James Pack, and I really like Scribble Patch Studios' work in general. And just naturally, I came to realize internally that I'm drawn more towards that, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess it's like the sort of, I guess, content versus the actual finish on a piece. You also sort of don't realize the difference between them. Yeah, but it has a very big influence.
What about you guys though? Like, what's your heroes?
I'm still trying to think, because it's not the artist that I've necessarily learnt the most from, or maybe it is.
It's tough, isn't it?
Well, there's not one. Well, he says, or he or she says, what is the artist? But I cannot say there's the artist that has.
Pick one, just like one that is very influential. I think go with a question. What is a very influential artist?
I will have to say probably a childhood one that really affected me. It was a guy, an artist from Blizzard named Wei Wang. He was the illustrator. He was the head illustrator for the Blizzard's art through Diablo and World of Warcraft and Star Trek. No, not Star Trek. StarCraft. And those illustrations, I saw them when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, because there were these art books that was in a local kind of like a nerd comic book store, and there were a lot of Warcraft, World of Warcraft, and Blizzard like art books. And in those art books, I saw art like Wei Wang, and I saw it in the game as well. And I thought, Jesus, these are some insane illustrations. And I think that hit me really hard when I was a kid. So I would say that was the spark, or fuel to the fire, maybe. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a really good pick. Yeah, because as far as like first artists that I really came across, then Feng Zhu's the one that sort of got me really thinking about concept art.
Oh yeah, he was a big boy, wasn't he?
And taught me about everything I needed to know, really. Like his insistence that you have to go to his course to actually learn this stuff was always false, because he would teach it in his videos even though he claimed he didn't.
He had like 150 videos where he...
And I watched them all.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's probably got to be the most influential one, even though for a very long time I completely veered away from, like, at least visually, the sort of stuff that he went for. Because then after that, in terms of stuff that I would actually say I see in my work, Ahmed Al-Duri, really enjoyed his work, and because I was watching it at the same time as I was going through all of Feng Zhu's videos, he basically influenced my approaches to characters, I think. I can't say in what particular way, I don't think, but he continues to be one of my favorite artists. Especially the way he does things now. Like, I really like how he's evolved. So, yeah. Again, I don't think there's necessarily a clear one-to-one with the stuff that I do, but definitely very influential.
Yeah, I'm thinking back, you know, and I think Feng Zhu was a big one, and Noah Bradley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think those were like, because actually I remember the first Gumroad I ever bought was an Anthony Jones like character design Gumroad, and then I got like a Wacom Bamboo, and then I did that, but then afterwards I discovered like Noah Bradley and Feng Zhu, and I was like, yeah, environments, yeah, let's do it, you know.
Since when did you find Noah Bradley?
Such a good question. Like 5 years ago, because
Oh,
that's when I started. I think 5 years ago is when I actually started doing this like digital art and concept art stuff.
yeah.
There's
pretty good.
There's a video on it's Noah Bradley's video, so it must be on his channel presumably, and he's painting like a snowscape with some people walking across it. And I remember
that's
watching
literally the one I have in my memory from like those years ago.
So it must have been like, at the time, that was the thing that YouTube was pushing out to everyone. Like, the algorithm favored that video, and so I saw that and watched it a bunch of times and went, oh my god.
Yeah, I remember. Do you remember like when you would all that time ago, when you would watch people's process and just not know what the heck was going on?
Yeah, this is a perfect example of it. Where I was like, how does he choose the right colors?
yeah. Crazy.
How does he know how to exactly know where to place that line on that plane, on that area of the body? How?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the one that I still quite like it. Maybe it's just because it's nostalgia. But I was blown away by it.
It's satisfying to come back, you know, as you would progress, you would come back to these kinds of videos you watched when you were younger, and at least me anyway, and I identify the process like so much more every time. And you know, and now what's funny is that, like, I don't know about you guys, but like sometimes I'll buy someone's Gumroad just because the YouTube trailer they've made for it is so appealing, and I'm like, okay, I've got to see their process. But then I kind of already know what it's going to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I already know what the steps are at this point, and it's just like, and you kind of scrub through it really quick, and you go, okay.
And then that's it. Like, the ultimate conclusion is like, well, you know, studying some more perspective is actually just going to help me more.
And every time I've hit failure, like, just the hard lesson is go back to your foundations.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, well, you know, I spent an hour skipping through this this Gumroad, but I knew what I needed to do all along.
Yeah, exactly. You're just trying to find that golden nugget where it's like, okay, here's how to cheat your way, like to just be. Yeah.
Where's the tip?
Here's this one add-on, secret add-on, but don't tell anyone else. And this will just make masterful art for you.
You wish.
Also, Zion's saying that I should extend my talk. Matter and antimatter explain the creation of the universe. That's all, folks. I hope you like my art talk. Can you even objectively look at your own art? It's a pretty good question. It's a pretty good, talking point.
Yeah, you can totally objectively view your own art. That's the answer.
Yes, the answer is yes. Thanks for coming to my talk.
Thanks and goodbye.
Artie Tiger, how do you draw linelessly? I would call that painting, not drawing.
Yeah.
Mark making.
I'm not sure what you mean, but like, you can do stuff. Imagine if you're, well, okay, I can only imagine this if you're using a paintbrush, but like, when you're inking, there are things you can do where you're not drawing the outlines of characters. You're trying your best to indicate the shadows. So, for a face, that would be doing something like this, where you know where the shadows are on a face, so you do this kind of thing. And so here I'm constructing a face technically linelessly. I mean, I'm doing it with just different thicknesses of line, but it's very close to being painting. So there's not... I'm not sure. If you want to clarify the question, go ahead, because otherwise it's basically just what I'm doing here. Which I would essentially have to say is painting if I really had to classify it. Like, making it more like line drawing would just be forcing yourself to use only black. So there's no value change, but there's few areas where you'd need to do that, and generally if you're going to do like if you're aiming for a comic finish, then sketch out your face first, work out where you actually need to put all of these harsh shadows, and then afterwards go over the top and do your like perfect placement of these shadows. Like this or something. But yeah, I hope that's somewhat helpful. As far as visualizing it, unfortunately, it's really just like it needs to be something you're familiar with.
I have a question for you, TCK.
Yes.
You're a confident line guy. When you're on like Photoshop and stuff, is there any kind of special settings you like a certain exact percentage on smoothing, or just something like which you need to have?
At the moment, I'm switching between. I think most of my line drawing, I don't change the thickness of the line, so I'm just drawing with opacity. I constantly have my hand on the brackets, so I'm just making my line bigger and smaller. And I found that that's the way I enjoy drawing the most. Like, it gives a sort of subtle, softer feel, I think, to all of my lines, and like I have to focus on shape because the shape of the line is no longer a factor. Like, I can't taper the line off into a thin point, so I have to make sure that if I want something to feel sharp, it's the shape that I'm drawing, not the quality of the line I'm using.
Right.
And I think that's mostly because I know that I'm going to take it to paint. So I need to make sure that I'm not relying on the line to look good. I need the shapes underneath to work. Anyway, here's my dirty clown. I'm going to stop painting him.
I mean, it depends on what you're gonna use lines for. If you're making a painting, if you're making a piece of art where it's just going to be lined, then sure, you can make some nice lines. But if you're doing concepts, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, basically. It's doing whatever's clearest and communicates stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I disagree. Linelessly is drawing with planes. How do you draw with planes? How is that not painting? Thoughts, guys?
Linelessly is drawing with planes.
Does that mean like lasso, just like using the lasso tool and laying in big shapes?
Hey, that's a good shout, actually.
Could just be very graphic, kind of.
Because it feels closer to drawing because you're using outlines with your as you draw out the lasso, and then
you are still drawing. You're just drawing with marching ants.
Yeah, exactly. And then just transferring that immediately into shape. That's a very good shout. There you go. That's how you draw without lines.
You're welcome.
In reality, we don't know what drawing linelessly is, and we just scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just scrubs.
We have learned nothing.
But yeah, I'm still totally lost by that. Thank you. I've been frustrated with textured brushes. I can paint with the default brush, fine, but I can't get certain styles and materials easily that way. If you ever make brushes tutorial on how to use them throughout a piece, I'll make a human sacrifice to thank you or something.
Wow.
It would be fun to do, but the problem is I think it's so personal how you use your brushes. And at the moment, I constantly change the settings of the brushes as I use them, which may be a good thing to teach and sort of show why that helps me. Because if it will sort of persuade you to try it out and get comfortable with using the sliders as you work, it's a good thing.
Can I personally say that I feel like brushes with textures on them are really useful for when you're doing sketches and the first third half of the painting. After that, I feel like I can do with any smoothing brushes.
Mm-hmm.
Because after that, once I want to start adding finer details, texture brushes aren't really gonna help you. Like because texture brushes are really good at imitating detail and making things feel more full, and more rich with life. But it doesn't actually add a useful detail, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I actually pretty much just use I use a very few small amount of brushes. I just need a hard edge, a soft edge. I'll have a cloud brush, and it's mostly it. I actually kind of just use textures for like mask selections. But the reason I use so few brushes is because I'm so heavily kind of photo heavy workflow, which I'm actually trying to move away from now. And so I am trying to become like more painterly, and so I've got to do that, as you say, kind of explore brushes more, and more like the sliders and the settings and that kind of thing.
Yeah, just finding what allows you to get the texture you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to go through at some point. Unfortunately, that's not going to be this month because I'm just going to be doing characters for the whole month.
Gotta get those submissions, bro.
Exactly.
That guy that was asking about lineless stuff, he was saying drawing with the side of the pencil rather than the tip. Unless you already addressed that.
Well, that's essentially where like I've drawn in the lines that I want to bound my shape, and then drawing with the side of the pencil is like getting a fatter brush in Photoshop. You use it to mark in areas of shadow, or changes in value, things like that.
You just do the John Howe method where you get like a ridiculously long. You shave your pencil down to a ridiculously long tip, and then you can just use it entirely as like a tonal.
Yeah, exactly.
Tonal layering.
Yeah.
There's not too much specific in terms of technique, except something to bear in mind is that certainly when you're doing it traditionally, you can often see the direction of the stroke, and if you're doing something like hair, then don't shade it sideways. Shade it along the grain with the hair. It's going to look better. It's going to demonstrate the flow better. So, yeah, I mean, the same goes with painting. Essentially, when you've got the side of your pencil, you've got to treat your pencil like a paintbrush. That's really it, I think.
The bigger it gets, the more painting it becomes.
Yeah.
That's my... Yeah, the more painting it becomes.
It's a great philosophy.
I just realized that was such a broken English.
It was such a broken English, but it's fine.
Dude, that was a pretty broken English, man.
Yeah, that was such... Nah, it's chill, bro.
Dude, English that were broke.
Broken English.
What's your first language?
Norwegian.
Clearly not English.
I swear, like Norwegians are like, you know, by the age of 8, they speak fluent English and they can like ski really well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to say I did pretty well for the when I skied for the first time, and I was
There we go.
15.
Oh,
Naturally.
it's in your blood. I think it says
in
when I
my
watch
blood.
Ronjiro or HGJ, KGJ. They use so much texture and it looks amazing. It makes me feel
Kim
so
Jong
much.
Kim Jong Ji, yeah.
I'm assuming no, but it's like I'm not sure. Anyway, Strong Beyond Strong. What do you use when you make your music? Any background in that? The background is that it's FL Studio, and a lot of the time I'm working with samples because I used to know how to use synths, and now I've forgotten. Not quite. I will occasionally make something specific. Synths are like brushes for me. Like I will get a specific brush for a very specific use, but most of the time I just construct stuff with other bits. I'd say my general music creation process is more like photo bashing, where I'm getting a bunch of interesting ideas that I like, arranging them in the right way, and then tying it together with my limited knowledge of synths, which is like a painting. But yeah, it's FL Studio. A fairly old version now, like a 2017 maybe.
That's old, man. That's
Not that old, but outdated is what I meant. Because...
Yeah, where'd you get that from? The museum?
Hey.
Ah,
But it really doesn't matter too much. I find it's nice because it feels very loose and creative. That's also another way of saying that it's kind of disorganized and you can do anything in a, like 4 or 5 different ways. So it suits me because I don't go for like really clean, tight mixes and stuff because I don't know how to, and because it doesn't matter to me too much. But ideally, I don't think it's necessarily the best program for like making the most crisp and clean music. It definitely can do though. It's just you need to know what you're doing with it. But I think it's a great one for people who want to just mess around with it.
beats.
Hmm?
Make some of those hot beats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can't hear it, but I'm playing Taking In, which is what he was referencing on the stream at the moment. But yeah, I mean, these ones specifically, the album of Piano Thundermus, they the basis of those tracks are all just a bad, low quality phone recording of me at a piano, making some random, like, I don't know what I'd call them, phrases, I guess. And then I just took those, gave them percussion, gave them a couple of layered instruments. There's a lot of like similarities you can create between how I sort of analyze and think about music and art, but I definitely don't have a similar process because there's nothing structured to how I make music.
Yeah, I'm actually very similar.
You make music too?
Yeah, man. Although since I've been in Germany, I didn't take my guitar with me, and I haven't sat on my keyboard in like 2 years.
No.
I know. Well, the thing is that like it's just so hard to keep up all of your kind of
Hobbies at once, yeah.
how do you just fit in the time for like anything and like enjoying life, like just actually just enjoying life?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nah, it's just
actually
why,
such a struggle.
music creations. I've used it for a couple of specific things, but I haven't done anything with essentially no purpose recently because that requires like me feeling like I'm at a loose end, and then just fucking about for a while until there's something I like. Like recently, I had some
Yeah.
specific things I wanted to make, and that's the only reason I ever made them. Which is kind of
the
like
only-
what I like about challenges is because they give you that reason. It's like you have to make this lineup of 6 characters.
Yeah. That's cool. How long have you been playing?
Oh, piano since I was like, what age must I have been? 9,
Okay,
I
yeah.
think 9, 10.
Oh
And then
my God,
as far as
that's
making music, I think my oldest tracks date back to like 2011. There's some old,
You're the oldest in the TCK discography.
yeah. They're hilarious. It's
You
so
have to
fun to
release the
listen
best
to.
of album at some point, you know.
Oh yeah, I should put them on SoundCloud. The thing is, SoundCloud now limits the number of tracks you can upload unless you pay for premium, so it would be a total waste of track space. I can put some old ones in the Discord though. You can
What do
listen
you have
to
to
it.
pay to upload music? That sounds a bit insane.
I guess I don't know how much it is. I guess it's fairly reasonable. And if you're trying to actually, if that's your thing and you're trying to like really go for it, then I guess that's just like one of those things you have to pay for, right?
Yeah, you have quite a few tracks when you're unlimited, but like if you're someone who's constantly producing music, you will at some point have to pay for it. So someone like me, I don't need to because I can just take one off if I actually hit the limit, then I would just take one off. It doesn't matter.
There aren't any ads on SoundCloud though, is there?
There are, but only on people that choose to put ads on their music. I think. Or maybe it's sort of like YouTube, and at some point it will like realize that something's getting a lot of traction, so it'll be like, I'm gonna put ads on this. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be cool. But at the same time, you know. So are you down in Leamington Spa right now?
Is that why? Sorry?
Are you down in Leamington
yes,
Spa
yeah,
right
yeah.
now? How are you finding it?
It's nice. Nice
Yeah.
architecture. It's a cool place.
Yeah. How is it in comparison to Newcastle?
Less hilly, or at least less up
Less
and down.
hilly.
There are fewer bridges. People are definitely more polite. It's less loud.
Newcastle is one of the loudest cities
Yeah,
that exists.
Is it?
It's absolutely. I mean, the nightlife is
it's pretty
Oh
mad.
yeah, well, the
it's-
nightlife is yeah.
crazy. You know, it's a completely unique place. Like I firmly believe that, and everyone, the personality of the city at night is very different, and you can like catch a train to like the capital of Scotland, you know, and like have free drinks there and then come back and like
Yeah.
like it's that kind of crazy where like you can have some serious nights out.
Yep. And like in general, people are actually very friendly. They will like,
Yeah.
if you're in trouble, people will help you. But then also they'll be incredibly loud and boisterous and like
It's the north.
be kind
It's
of
the north.
scary if you're just trying to like walk through the city at night, at least when everyone's pissed, when all the women are wearing literally nothing in like the freezing cold.
Yeah, and they're just screaming. Their shrill screams echo through the through the
it's
streets.
a lot of the time it's them just like screaming at their boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, we're trying to shout down a taxi.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
good fun,
man.
but I certainly don't miss it.
It is a fun city, but it's like I think it would be a fun place to be like a uni student, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
There are a lot of
Um,
students there, though, aren't there?
there are.
Yeah, huge kind of student culture. But yeah, no, Leamington Spa seems cool. Connor was telling me actually that you know, there's a pub which all the people go to, and so you have to be careful what you're talking about because
Yeah.
like the Ubisoft guys will be behind you.
It's called the drawing board, which is cute, and it's got like a bunch of comics and stuff stuck to the walls.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the Ubisoft studio ends up there, and a bunch of mobile game ones as well. So, like normally in public, you can talk about stuff as long as you're sort of somewhat subtle. No one will catch on because they just don't understand it. But
Yes.
you know, talk about some sort of stage of production or something, and another game developer will be like, "Oh, I see."
Yeah, right. You can't give away the secrets. It's very similar here because like there's Mercedes HQ and there's Porsche and there's Bosch, and like this city is just full of like these cars, you know, and like this is the car part of Germany, and so it's like every expat you meet is working for one of the big three, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be, especially if you're on like the future team and you're kind of where technology and things are involved, you have to be super careful. Try not to get too drunk, you know.
Yeah, basically. Don't slip something.
Yeah, right.
Also, the chat. Are you familiar with Flashbulb, as in the artist? What I'm listening to right now? Because I'm not, but it sounds cool. Could you suggest any video that helps you render character better? I don't think I've come across something which has really been that influential with anything render. Which is something I want to try at some point. It's just like make short videos about different specific topics of rendering. Unfortunately, I don't know. I've only really studied finished pieces, but you know, Ronjia is a great example for that. Wei Feng and Guangjian.
Ranjia is actually just a crazy guy.
A mad lad.
He is a mad lad. But if there was like someone new and they wanted to get into, well, I don't know if it'd be character specific or environment specific or whatever, but what would you kind of recommend as like a quintessential kind of Gumroad or like kind of Learn Squared course or whatever? Like what in your experience do you think is the
So I haven't done any Gumroads or any Unsquared courses.
You should, by the way. You absolutely should.
I know, but I haven't. So unfortunately, I have no good answer for that. I've only watched YouTube videos, and in those, I'm not really sure if there's something which like there's a broad covering of characters. Like, of course, I watched the Feng Zhu character stuff first. And I think that was probably better for understanding like what I need to put into a design in terms of the thinking. And then it would be watching how Ahmed starts to like block out the colors in a character is probably how I learnt that approach. So yeah, I don't know. Also, I've been drawing this really slowly because I've been totally distracted.
Dude, me too. So I'm doing a scene right now, and there's a character kind of tied to a chair. Okay, and I had reference of two hands, and I've spent like an hour putting them in and putting a soft light layer on top of each one. And it's been the slowest process ever.
Alright, let's actually try and draw stuff. DZK is F2P. What is F2P? And yeah, I'm enjoying the flashbulb. It's good fun. I'll have to give it a proper listen later when I can listen to it at proper volume. Alright, I'll stop being lazy. I was googling everything else. F2P. Free to play.
What's the question?
Oh, it's just saying that I am free to play.
Yeah.
You can't extrapolate anything You need from what's available on Google. You're doing it for. Yeah, I've normally just. As in terms of courses and stuff. So if you can't extrapolate the stuff, you can just find free on Google. I think is what you mean. I could be wrong though. But essentially, that's how I've had most of my like teaching is from stuff that I found on YouTube.
Mm.
And then just asking specific questions from artists whenever I've had them. I'd recommend you do that more than I did. I now do it. Although it's still not enough really, like I don't reach out to random people that I admire. And I should. But do it, because if they don't have time for you, then that's fine. If they do have time for you, you get some valuable feedback or something.
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised, like how many people will reply. I remember in my last year of uni, I was like just a complete plateau, and in a most non-offensive way, my tutors couldn't show me what to do. Because I just did an illustration degree, not anything specialized, and so I just reached out to like everyone on ArtStation that I really admired, and actually so many people came back, and like written so much stuff, and I got so much good feedback.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely rinse people for feedback, and it's like most of the time they're absolutely completely fine with
giving it. And that's the thing, like unless you're doing things like being very active on like Instagram or streaming or something, a lot of people don't get like sort of questions and things like that asked to them if they're just sort of essentially quietly doing their own things and working professionally on this during the day. So like it's nice. I think a lot of people would be sort of surprised if they get people asking them for help with something, and I imagine would quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I actually, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, kind of having mentors has been like so essential to my growth. Namely, there's a guy called Badger Tracks. I'm not sure if you know him.
I don't.
I think he's at Criterion now. I think he's EA Criterion maybe, or he was Creative Assembly or whatever. And he did Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and some of the things like that. And he came into my uni and did like a talk, and I just kind of like grabbed him as he was leaving and got his email address. And
Excellent.
he is one of those kind of artists where it's like, okay, not necessarily really active streaming or whatever, but he's a big boy in the industry, and he was just more than happy to kind of write me out paragraphs, and I would get back to him every few months, and it was just really good, it was really, really good. And then your old workmate from Atom Hawk, Phil, I did a mentorship with him, and that was like so good for my growth. Yeah.
Of course, because I remember when you said that you were going to take it. That's great, because I was wanting to know what it was like from.
It was really good, man. I was hitting a plateau at the time, and I think just doing like one of these mentorship things that a lot of people are doing now is just a fantastic way to push over that, because what's better than like one-on-one feedback with a pro, you know? And I really leveled up after I actually feel I do feel a little bad though, because I just, I wasn't working or having a job or anything at the time, so I spent every day, all day, just like sending him work, and he was juggling it with like everything else, and like I was just constantly, it was like I was so motivated and driven, because obviously you come back from THU just like with that drive,
Yeah.
So I was spamming him, dude, like every day. just like, give me more feedback, tell me more, you know. Yeah, tell me how I suck, you know. And
That's awesome.
he was great, yeah. And now I'm at a point where after that I went into a very photo heavy way of working, and now with the NPC artist, I'm kind of learning to especially in the initial kind of sketching stage to use more line and marks and purely pull just completely unique ideas out of your head before relying on photos.
Yeah.
And then once you've kind of scribbled down a bunch of stuff and you kind of have a more painterly approach, which, you know, everyone's different. Everyone's completely different. And just for me, this feels like a more organic way to get original ideas out.
Yeah, instead of like seeing an image and being like, I know I can sort of make that into a cool looking concept arty styled piece.
Yeah.
Or just like make it into a silhouette or something, and then add some fog, a little guy in the foreground, and a nice sky.
It's so different for everyone else. I feel like what I've realized is that people that are photo heavy can make it work. Some people can make it work because their compositional knowledge is so strong. But what I do is that I become subconsciously complacent, and I start to rely on the photos to do the work for me. And a month or two back, I did an art test, and I completely. It was a really good learning experience, but I relied on photos heavily for it, and I feel like my compositions really paid the price, and it made me kind of wake up a bit and said, okay, you know, this is good, because now I realize in my workflow that I shouldn't introduce that until more of a rendering kind of stage.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's great, and so like, just whatever your concerns and questions are, you can just message people or sign up. You know, I know Jammer's doing this amazing mentorship, which people will just come out of it like absolute pros, you know. And Connor Cross is doing a mentorship thing as well.
Yeah, maybe I should just do that after this month. Just stop doing personal stuff for a while. Do a mentorship with someone and get like a new take, a new way to think about something.
It'd be cool.
Be interesting to do, especially something that's like 3D or whatever. It'd be interesting to get some better knowledge on that. General Jan, how much writing do you do before getting into a design, if any? I've recently been finding more success in the designs when I start writing, but I also feel like it distracts me from the actual drawing. Kind of difficult to find that sweet spot. So I'm assuming you don't mean like writing in terms of actual like laying out story and events and things like that. Instead, just writing down your ideas. Well, this time I did a bunch more than I normally do. I was sort of laying out all of this stuff at the beginning, and then doing little sketches, little doodles of ideas which I couldn't convey with just words. I think it's really important, and certainly with something like this where you're trying to go for ideas that are new and fresh, it's the best way to come up with stuff that isn't just like your default, I've seen this before, I know how to do it, it'll look cool. Instead you actually end up finding ideas that you wouldn't have stumbled on otherwise. Take the Nardwar approach to life and just ask. Oh yeah, I do remember the Nardwar talk, it's great. He's the person just goes and does interviews with like all of the massive music celebrities.
And he does his research, by the way.
Exactly, and he knows everything about them. It's so good.
He knows what school they went to, who their best friends were. You know, it's just crazy.
And that's the thing that makes it so much more fun for the people being interviewed. They want to be interviewed by him because they're just like, what's he going to dig up that I've forgotten about? that even I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his interviews. They're great. Yeah, be like Nardwar.
Be like Nardwar.
The Nardwar of art. Actually, that'd be cool. Anyway, like imagine you're doing a talk with someone, and then they'd like bring up the first digital painting you ever did, and you're just like, how the hell did you get that?
Yeah, they find your old DeviantArt or something.
Yeah. Oh no!
And you're like, I thought that was gone forever.
Yeah.
Just imagine what other types of research they could do on you, man. Oh god.
They're saying if only the forums were still around where this kind of thing was normal. Craig Martin's doing paintovers and stuff. Yeah, I don't think there are really any like proper forums like that anymore.
Yeah.
Admittedly, QBrush is trying to do that kind of thing, and I think it's pretty good. It's just I haven't interacted with it. Discord has become a place that you have that kind of interaction at paintovers and stuff, but because it's not like open and public, it doesn't like reach and potentially benefit as many people.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like getting in on Quentin Mabil.
Yes.
Yeah, he has a Patreon, and if you join his Patreon, you can get into his Discord, and in his Discord is some big players, you know, some big names, and they have a work in progress kind of section. And in the past, like getting Quentin's kind of feedback on pieces has been so valuable. So you have that. You do have these kind of Facebook, you know, you have like Level Up and all those other Facebook groups. But the danger with those are, I feel like, and this might be controversial, I feel like 90% of the critique people are giving, they just have no idea what they're saying.
Essentially. Yeah.
You know, I just feel like, you know, some of the critique that you see on there, I just feel like maybe people think they're informed, and only 10% of the time do you actually get a pro who will give like...
Part of the problem is also that they give... I've seen like feedback which is... It's like accurate, it's not wrong and it's not bad to implement, but it also doesn't get to the heart of the actual problem. And so people go away thinking, I just need to like tweak the way this nose is structured. And forgetting the fact that the skull underneath is completely wonk and that kind of thing. And so sort of you can end up almost learning the wrong lessons because you will get some improvement from following the feedback, but you'll miss the bigger picture. So yeah,
it's always dangerous on the Facebook groups.
Also, General Jan says you actually write out a medium-length story for the characters for the Mystery Box Challenge. Well, that's good, because as long as you can translate a backstory into the design, then that's great. The problem is you need to make sure you don't go like into too much complexity that requires you to read the story to understand the visuals. Because otherwise, essentially these are being judged for their visuals alone, really. Perhaps the name of the character or a couple of descriptions of like how they work and what they do. Like I'm going to put a couple of sketches of them in various action poses, I think, to really describe how they function and what their skills are. But otherwise, it needs to be evident just through their visuals alone. So be careful when you're writing out stories that you're not putting in things which are too complex to ever translate to a visual. You keep one of Jamie Jones' first paintings on your hard drive. Now you're ready.
A master.
Also, sounds like a let me in vibe. I can't remember what that was too. Sorry, we've been quite disjointed with how we're reading the chat, but that's okay.
That's alright.
That's alright. I like that. I really like that.
Now I really like that.
Now I really like that.
Breaking down the walls between
you and me. Now I really like that. Stop!
Slick stuff, cool stuff, neat stuff.
Slick stuff. Oh man. Oh god, it gives me shivers.
I love it.
It's so funny. It's so awful. Yeah, god.
Have you sped up yet, or are you still?
I'm still doing stuff that just isn't necessary. That's the main thing I'm doing at the moment. I don't need to be doing tight line work. Stuff that looks nice because I'm painting over it, but I'm doing it anyway. Why am I doing it? It's because I'm distracted. But that's okay. It's nice and chill. And the thing is, at the moment, like during the week, I have this sense that I really want to get the next design out because I can post it, go to bed, wake up the next day, blah 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 blah. Whereas now it's like the weekend's coming, so I can stay up late. I can spend the entirety of tomorrow doing this, even though I know I won't. But I could, and the fact that I could means that I will treat it as if I will.
Yeah.
And so there's the much less pressure to do anything.
It's a good place to be, man.
Yeah, it's just end of week vibes, you know? I've been doing work at a decent pace all day, so now I can do it at a silly and slow pace.
No, I know what you mean. Like, my next week I actually have off because it's like a random dude. There's like so many German holidays. Like, it's crazy. Like,
Oh yeah?
you know, oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, and then this Thursday's off because it's the, you know, penny behind the tree day, and then you go on, and then this
Dude,
day
gotta love
like
penny behind the tree day.
yeah, it's where everyone goes to drop pennies behind their nearest tree. I don't know. It's just like, it's like everything's so like random. It's like
I thought I was thinking you just made that up. That's awesome.
But like literally, it's like there's just so much time off all the time, you know. But it's gonna be good because it's like, you know, I was talking to my mates from home, and they're just chilling in this time, you know. They're on furlough pay, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna do this, you're gonna play this game with us or something. And I was like, no, I have the full week just to do my NPC mentorship and this art competition.
Heck,
you know?
yeah.
Have all of that free time just to do 2 projects instead of juggling it with a day job.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty nice. It's pretty lush freedom.
Do you ever like, because like, I think us and other people doing similar kind of jobs, you know, we draw all day and then we have our projects in the evening and we draw all evening, right? Do you ever like kind of reach burnout? Have you ever reached like a colossal burnout in the last few years? Or are you usually good? Are you good at like managing it?
There are just times when I don't know what to draw, or I try and it doesn't look good, and whatever mood I'm in is not a mood that makes me want to push through and get some reference to do it right or whatever. Instead, I just go, you know what, I'm not feeling it. And I feel like the longest that happens for is either like a weekend and then potentially the week afterwards, or just at the weekend. Like there have been weekends where I try and I'm sort of just like sitting at my computer with Photoshop open, sometimes watching YouTube, sometimes staring at my Photoshop. And really I know that I should just not try and do whatever it was I'm trying to do and pick up a game or watch something I've put in my backlog, because maybe it's burnout, or maybe it's just like I didn't sleep right or something. Like I'll just have times where I can't think straight or whatever. And I think there are ways to push through it if you
no, I agree.
if you
I just remember that moment from when we were doing an all-nighter, where we were just working all night, and then you're like, all right, I'm off to work now.
Oh yeah, so that's the opposite. So, you know, that's a time when I'm just like, I'm really feeling it, and I can do an entire night. And then
You did an entire day, an entire night, and an entire day again.
Yeah.
And then you invited your friend over.
Yeah.
After that, and had a drink or something.
That was
right?
the problem, because he came over the weekend, so we then like he came around and we stayed up late making music together.
I can't believe that you even did that. That must be
that's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we got so trashed, except it was just because I didn't sleep, not drink.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's like hair of the dog, but you didn't get drunk in the first place.
Yeah. Good fun though. And I got the artwork finished.
Great, yeah. Sometimes you have to really pull it in for a deadline.
Yeah.
It's You
I'm
just have to
hoping I get
summon
this
it.
done ahead of time. I should do, but like I'm already doing now, I'm just sort of
Dawdling.
faffing about.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe this is a sign for things yet to come.
Ooh.
I still haven't fixed this problem with the legs. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
I find that the hardest part for me is just like opening Photoshop and actually starting. Like when I'm in my spare time, that is. It's like, so I'll sabotage myself and like while I'm like watching something, I'll just like in a second like forcibly click Photoshop, and then I'm like, oh, I've done it, you know.
I've
it,
done
man.
it. It's done.
That's literally the hardest part for me, is just starting it.
Yeah.
And it's so painful for about 10 minutes, and then I'm in the zone, and that's fine, you know.
Yeah. Nah, like I think I open Photoshop immediately and then I just tab out and I go, oh shit, I failed. I failed.
Same.
Shit.
Oh no.
You
Dude.
know how to open it now, but you have found a method to ignore it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you've gone a step beyond where like you've opened it and then you're like, well, I don't need this, and you just leave it behind again. That's crazy. I actually don't like that you said that, because I think I will start doing that now.
You ruined them.
Yeah, it's like, wait, you can do other things with Photoshop open? Shit.
Yeah. Wait, you don't have to work in Photoshop.
Shit.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, but like, dude, you like when you're saying like, oh, you know, I have these things I want to watch or these games I want to play. I'm going to describe to you the story of my life for the last like year. Okay, so there's all these games I want to play, and I'll buy something which is new, and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. I'll play it for 30 minutes, and then I'll start feeling guilty because it's like I could be doing something productive.
Yeah.
And this is my biggest issue as of late. This is what I've been really struggling with, is that unless I'm going out and being social, which has hardly been happening in this quarantine, it's like, you know, I find it hard to relax, just from like juggling so much work in the day and night. I'm finding it hard to go to a lifestyle of trying to just take time out to not concentrate on something, and force myself to be productive. Tough.
Yeah, so I've realized recently, because I started playing Zelda, and admittedly I'm not going to probably for a month now, but I was enjoying it so much that I was happy to not do some work, which hasn't happened for a very long time. And I was thinking about how it's a game that allows you to be creative, and so constantly I'm thinking, oh, I could do this in a creative way. I could do my own thing here and it'll be really cool. Like, I would create something new in the game almost, like a new way to solve a problem. And that satisfies, I think, that creative urge enough that I'm quite happy to play Zelda for a long time. Admittedly, it's also because just living with Alicia made me less concerned about art, which was kind of nice, but I mean, I was very conscious that I would ideally be doing more. It's just because of lockdown, we were spending all of our time together and not doing our own things. So it was a combination of both, but it was interesting just that, yeah, with like big AAA games, I load them up for looking at them and giving them a go, and most of the time I'm satisfied very quickly because there's nothing that requires my input. I can watch someone else play it and get similar experience, almost. I really like platformers because I think that's the experience there is having a challenge and getting good at it. I really like Dark Souls, and that might just be because it's
I love Dark
beautiful
Souls. Oh
and
my
constantly
God.
gives you new stuff to admire, but I think it provides a challenge, which means I really do need to try it myself to feel it properly. But I don't know, like the first Last of Us. Admittedly, I didn't have the PlayStation to play it. Is it a PlayStation exclusive? I forget.
I think so.
Yeah. So I was never going to play it, but it's the sort of thing that I have really no desire to, because everyone's gameplay is gonna look mostly the same.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience, and I'm happy for that experience to be auxiliary. Like someone else can experience it, and I can get maybe half the experience they got by watching them do it, and that's fine because I value making some characters more. So
Draw time, you know.
yeah, draw time.
No, I have to do, if it's a game that I don't feel guilty for, it has to be something that's multiplayer with friends. Because if
yeah.
I'm by myself, I just feel like I have to be doing something productive. So me and the boys have been getting on Valorant, enjoying some Valorant, and man, I think since I was like 8 years old, I've never not played Smash Bros. You know.
Yeah.
That is like a midday daily ritual. Is I'll jump on Smash Bros with someone.
Awesome. That's nice.
I love it. Yeah, I love it, man. And like, yeah, it's like, okay. So like, yeah, I guess my passion in the first place for this industry was through these single player narrative heavy games, but actually what I enjoy now in my spare time is just like things where I don't think, and I don't, you know, it's just like,
it's just reactions.
It's just smashing people up, or like, you know, shooting people in the face.
Yeah. The thing, it's funny you bring up the social aspect, because of course we've been playing like weekly, doing Jackbox as like a party game.
Yeah.
So it's very different. I wouldn't class it as video game at all, really, but that's very fun, and it's a social interaction, so there's no sense that we're like wasting time doing it. Except when Matthias and Axel are like, I'm gonna go draw now.
Fuck off.
Sorry, it's the Friday, or you know, we're normally doing on Saturday, but you know, I had the whole day to draw, but I'm gonna cut off like an hour early because my go draw some characters.
You gotta hustle, man.
It's pathetic. How dare you?
It is
It upsets me. It upsets Alicia. It's really funny because
what does that have anything to do with her? What does you have to do it?
Well, it's because she enjoys your presence.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll stay for the whole time.
Yeah.
And you sacrifice that for your drawing?
Yeah, so you have all day to draw.
I'll be simping though, okay?
Anyway, it's funny because I'm overtly rude to you in chat and stuff, and so like she'll do the same sort of thing, and I just find it really amusing because she's just like she'll talk about you in the same way that I do, just to match me. And it's really funny. Of course, she's like, yeah. I don't know if we need to follow that up with anything. It's just fun.
Yeah.
But she's like, whenever I'm messaging the group being like, is everyone ready to do it this night? She's like, make sure that bitch Matthias is around, and I'm like, yeah, sure thing. Actually, no, she does it more with Axel than you, to be honest.
That's fair. She knows Axel probably more.
Exactly, she knows Axel more, but it's great. Because we want you.
Oh, well,
You're important to the experience.
I have the shittiest jokes and the shittiest prompts. It's literally so brain dead. It's just like, poop.
Poop. It's poop.
Simp. And then I put a smiley face. I can literally just put a smiley face as a prompt.
Yeah, that's like... that's all of your it's your, what would you call it? It's like your signature. I don't know if you're familiar, Ruben, but like the game we play a lot of is Quick Flash, and essentially the format is just that you get given a prompt, so it'll say something like the worst thing to give as a birthday present, and then you come up with an answer, and someone else that's playing gets the same prompt as you, and then once everyone's answered, they all pop up one by one, and people vote which is the best answer. So you try and come up with something fun.
I've played a lot of Jackbox with friends in the past. The issue that we have is that it gets too morbid. It just gets so dark. And like, you know, at one point, it's like at first we all kind of enjoy it. You know, it doesn't feel good, but it does feel good. And then someone just, one of us will take it too far, and it's always the issue is that it's just, you just kind of, there's that temptation.
Oh yeah,
know,
absolutely.
To just put in a really like messed up answer, and then and so that's my issue, is that I'm too messed up.
And the border now has been broken, so you take it even further the next time.
Exactly.
Yeah, you keep
like,
pushing.
where else can this go? It can only go further.
Yeah, there's no going back now. Yeah, I think
going
a
back.
couple rounds of Quick Flash are enough, and then you could. Have you played the TKO one?
I don't think so.
Where you design T-shirts and then add slogans to them. I mean, obviously there's a ton of room still for morbid shit, but it's that's really fun. I really
Can we
enjoy
do
that.
more of PKO tomorrow? It's probably my favorite.
Because it's my favorite just because you end up with like things which just like the thing that makes it so funny, I think, is when you have a combination that's perfect, and of course you know it's random, and so that somehow just massively enhances the hilarity of it.
Yeah, it's just and I'm the type of, my humor is just absurdity. That's my kind of humor. So I
Right.
just love how to do these stupid drawings. I have these like stupid I don't know, sentences or words to just put in, and then you have someone that probably makes somewhat coherent, but the mix of coherent and absurdity makes it so good.
Yeah, it's awesome. But the other fun thing is you can extend the voting to like up to 1,000 people. So at some point we could do it on stream. Make sure we temper our responses.
It's like Jordan was saying, that's a dangerous game.
It certainly is. It's very literally a dangerous game. Oh, Zukulululu has raided. Thank you so much. How are
Look at
you
that.
doing?
You know what? I don't even follow you.
You
I
don't
just
follow me?
realized.
Oh, what, on Twitch? Oh,
Yeah.
how dare you! Also, we have been ignoring the chat terribly. I feel like you want to approach getting a bigger visual library. You should tackle themes one by one, maybe like fantasy, then medieval, and architecture, then nature. Is there a place you guys know where themes to explore, regroup, / organize? Not especially. Like a lot of the time, if I have an idea of something I want to get more familiar with, it's just going through Pinterest or something. Yeah, as synthesis says. Poorly chest myself with the multi-hotkey. If Photoshop is opened, it fucks up so many of my buttons. It sometimes messes with my typing. That's brilliant. So there's no way you can't draw. You can't play creative games. I feel like that brain juice would be better spent on an actual project. Fair enough. I just find it so much more engaging. I think it's like beyond just satisfying that creative itch. It's just the thing that appeals to me the most. Play Wonderful 101 or Bayonetta for true mechanical glory. Becomes meditative. Yeah, I would like to try Bayonetta. If it's been released for the Wii U, then I should be able to emulate it. Can't fight with the urge to play COD with mates. Yeah, exactly, but it's when it's with friends that really makes the difference. Like we were discussing.
Yeah.
Because it suddenly makes it feel really worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's good. Zukululu. Yes, thank you for joining. What have you been up to? Oh, painting a sexy lady, I see.
Love the voices.
Bayonetta soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah. So that's a fun game, dude. I love. Like, have you guys ever played Azura's Wrath?
I can't say I have any experience in it. I'm afraid.
It's like Bayonetta. You know, it's like just crazy insanity on like a planetary scale. You're like smashing. You're
Is
on
it
like
the
a
guy with the multiple arms?
yeah, and like
Oh, I've seen that.
it's just like Bayonetta. It's just crazy kind of visual. It's just shapes and colors getting thrown at you, and you just kind of go, yeah, like you know.
Oh, is Bayonetta, has it been made for the PC or released for the PC?
No, it's made for the PS, I think, but
Oh, okay.
I have no idea if it's for
I
PC.
know it. They're on the Switch now, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
yet another incentive for me to get a Switch. I've been meaning to for like a year.
Yeah, fair enough. That's the thing, for Breath of the Wild, I've just finally gotten around to doing the setup to get an emulator working.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It is nice, actually, because, I mean, it's a beautiful game, and scaled up to the resolution of my screen makes it even better.
Yeah. Good times.
Alicia wanted to play the new Animal Crossing, so I tried setting that up on the Citrus emulator? I can't remember which one it was, and it was just a buggy mess. And for the whole time, we thought it was just because you arrive on the island and there's like a wave sound, but it was actually just constant noise, like white noise. And we were like, why haven't the very, very loud, obnoxious waves disappeared yet? And then the frame rate was just terrible. It was unplayable, unfortunately, so we gave up on that pretty quick.
What game are you referring to?
Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's because it only just come out, like there was really no optimization yet for the Switch, so for the emulators, so it makes sense that it wasn't going to be a great experience, but
Okay.
we ended up playing a bit of the 3DS one, which was good fun for a bit, and then it was just like, well, we could grind for ages before we can actually start making like significant changes to our village. Because you like get to the end, you start paving a village and like making little walkways around and cute stuff like that, but well, we didn't get there.
Cute. Isn't that what that game is all about? Being cute?
It's cute and friendly and like just having nice interactions with people. Actually,
AI people or people?
both, I guess, if you're actually online, but yes, the AI.
Sounds kind of sad, bro.
Hey, there's a cute little squirrel called Pecan, and we were trying to fall in love with them, or get them to fall in love with us. I don't know if that's possible. I'm assuming it's possible. We would just shower them with gifts.
I used to be able to play a bunch of the PK. Is it PK? No, KK songs. Though that was years ago.
I'm actually, because Alicia was describing like what sort of things that she finds that she just enjoys from games in general. I noticed that a lot of it really lined up with the whole meta aspect of Undertale, so we're going to try playing that together and see what she thinks of that.
Oh, side question. What's your favorite guys soundtracks from games? What do you think's your best? I mean, mine's Final Fantasy VII.
Good shout. I thing is, I've been spoiled because at least I can't listen to the original now because I listened to the Black Mages, like did essentially a rock / metal cover.
Oh yeah, dude. I know, dude. Yeah, I know.
They're so good, and now I can't like if I listen to the actual soundtrack, I just like I like the vibe of the real instruments better now. So
no, yeah. There's that album. There's the live one where like they're all like shredding out on guitars and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's also like the album where they've kind of re-recorded a bunch of FF stuff. With just a proper orchestra, and it's like so sick. But I really love the Advent Children version of like One Winged Angel and things like that.
Oh yes, yeah. It's cool that there's so many different versions of these things because like you find when you're like,
so
oh,
cool.
this is even better.
It's actually crazy. Like when I was a kid, Advent Children came out, and I slammed that movie. I almost swore. I slammed that movie so hard, and it's like even like a year ago, I forced a bunch of my friends to watch it, and it was still like so sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Good times, man. Good
very
times.
good fun. Yeah, good choice. What would I say? Favorite soundtrack? I'm very tempted to say Minecraft.
What?
I really like the Minecraft soundtrack.
Just like the ambient piano.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And I don't know how much of that's nostalgia, but I really like C418. Like I would probably say I prefer his other albums. He's got an album called One, which I really, really like. And I prefer to the Minecraft soundtrack, but the thing is it doesn't have the nostalgic aspect to it, so it doesn't just like constantly make me think of all the fun times I had when I was a kid playing Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, like playing it now, the music pops in and I'm like, yeah, it's that feeling again, but it's odd because like nothing I do will feel like the first time I did it, which I guess makes sense, but what other games do I really like the soundtrack of?
There are some pieces that are just timeless. Sticks with you for a while.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop me from getting new stuff that I like listening to.
Absolutely.
There are even game soundtracks I don't play the games, but I like listening to the soundtrack.
Yeah, that's a lot of that.
Grand Blue Fantasy, have you seen that?
Yeah, that's the fighting game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there's gonna be a new Grand Blue Fantasy coming out. I don't know. People have been waiting for that game, but yeah, it's a JRPG fighting style game, I believe. But the old soundtracks from the game that's currently out has some really nice music, ranging from orchestra to a little bit more techno-y. But I like the orchestra more.
Mm-hmm.
Orchestral, I think. I mean.
You said it was a JRPG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find the I usually like the Japanese kind of soundtracks because they love to mix like random techno stuff with like
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
anything.
Speaking of that, Dragon's Dogma into free.
Flying into free. So good.
Yeah.
I am the Duncan. It's great. It's just
Dude, when I
the
first
best.
heard it, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And then like
yeah,
like 10 times I've heard it, like
yeah. After the 10th listen, you're like, yeah, fucking great.
You're like, yeah, it's coming on.
Yeah, I've just been meditating and trying to think of the best soundtracks. I really like the Hollow Knight soundtrack, and the chat suggests it as well. So yeah, that's a really good one. I really like Under the Knife 2 for the DS. I like that soundtrack a lot. That's,
What is that? I don't
it's
know
like
that.
it's a little surgeon simulator game, Japanese again. I'll
And that's your
find it.
favorite kind of soundtrack is a surgeon simulator game.
Fucking love
on
it. It's
TS.
great. It's because it's got all of the crazy, over-the-top, wacky stuff.
Dude, that's pretty. That's niche.
Yeah, this is a niche one, right? So this is going to be my answer because that means I'm special. Like everyone
Yeah, I
likes the Hollow
appreciate
Knight
your
soundtrack.
your hipster approach.
This is
You
my
have that
hipster answer.
approach. You're like, yeah, I like a surgeon simulator game back on the DS, the original DS.
Yeah, original DS, exactly. I'm playing it on the stream now, so everyone can enjoy it.
Oh
I
yeah.
think we like Lifeform, somebody says. I'm currently listening to it right now.
Let me check it out.
And I will try out the Death Forces first too. Thank you for the suggestions. I've been enjoying
Fast Fall.
whatever I've been listening to, the Flashbulb. I have been enjoying the Flashbulb a lot. So great suggestion.
Do you guys have any tips for making like a hologram effect in Photoshop? Because I am really struggling.
What I would say is that making sure there are bits which are fully transparent, and then ideally putting some sort of like warping effect behind, so that like you get this sense that it's only visible in places and it's like distorting the space it's in.
Yeah,
Like you could use the water ripples filter. That could be quite cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just thinking about more soundtracks though, I can only think of, I'm starting to think of anime soundtracks that are like my favorite soundtracks.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing, my friend. Yeah.
What's your favorite? Do you have
What's
a
my favorite? I do have a favorite. So, first of all, I would also like to just say that the Devil May Cry soundtracks from a long time ago were really sick.
Oh, wait,
And-
which one though? Because one of them was made by Noisia, and I love that because it's just got their sickest beats.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I can't. I used to slam it. I can't remember though.
Devil May Cry. Oh, it's just the first one. Is it the first one? Can't be the first
Maybe.
Devil May Cry.
Maybe.
Maybe
I
it
don't
is.
know. Maybe.
Is it like the album cover? I'll link it in the chat so you can. Oh yeah, Hotline Miami's great.
Oh, that's such a good one, Hotline Miami. That is an actual shout.
Also, color dodge layers out of the ass is the response for making something look like a hologram. I'm curious. I want to try making something like a hologram right now. This lady has been scribbled on for long enough. I think basically I just need to connect up the stuff in the background and I'm good. So let's get an image and try and make a hologram.
Give it a go, man. And yeah, maybe I can show you what I'm doing in context. It's actually I'm struggling.
Actually, no. Yeah, send your image. That's a much better idea, and then I can just fiddle around with that.
Okay.
Without
that.
any hologram, like just.
Okay. I'll take off all the effects I'm trying and stuff. And...
Yeah. Anyway, if then go back to the anime soundtracks because someone's already said my favorite in the chat. Is it actually the first anime soundtrack that was mentioned? If so, Strong
have
Beyond
a-
Strong, you're on my level, my dude.
Ooh, that's a shout, dude. Oh man. So, Parasite the Maxim. When that intro song came out, I got really into Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and it's just the crit, and also Death Note has Maximum the Hormone, right? It's just these kind of crazy, like super, like fucking crazy energy, like. So, and it got me into like lots of Japanese music.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
It's fun when you get that lead on where you're like, who actually made this? And then you like find a whole new set of stuff to listen to. The Kill la Kill sound is great.
How should I send this?
Put it in
How should I send this
the
image?
Hangout. The Hangout chat.
Yo, yeah, Kill la Kill. That's bang. I tell you what,
Kill la Kill is pretty good, yeah.
yeah, that's actually one of my favorites as well in terms of like animation and like just style.
I think it's the best looking show.
Yeah, man.
In my opinion, it's my favorite in terms of visuals, like including animation and everything. I think it's just my favorite like aesthetic for a show.
I really like the recent Dorohedoro outro songs.
Oh, dude, is that the? I just slammed that on Netflix like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it's funny, it's weird, but it works.
It took me a second to get into the 3D CG, but once I got past that, I really enjoyed the world. I'll just be right back. I sent the image, but just give me a sec.
To be honest, I didn't really notice it until people pointed it out. It's like, yeah, it is actually 3D CG, but it wasn't uncomfortable, so I didn't mind it. I think since everything was like 3D CG, and it kind of, I don't know, they treated it how they would treat 2D in some sense, so it didn't come out to me as opposed to what they did with Berserk, the recent Berserk, where they did not hide any 3D whatsoever. even though
but
they
the thing
kind
is, it's
of
not
tried
that
to.
they needed to hide it or anything. It's just that all the
Well-
models and all the animation was.
I'm talking about cinematics. So how they camera shots and such. That's probably what I should have pointed out, because the camera shots is very confusing in the 3D CG in Berserk, but the 3D CG in Dorohedoro is not confusing.
Yeah, yeah.
It still treats the traditional way of.
Yeah,
how
no,
they
no.
would
You make a very good point. Like a lot of the time, when you have the 3D with 3D, and you're not used to using it, you start to making some really bad decisions with like,
Yeah.
let's have the camera like flip around and do some crazy shit. It's like, well, that's
Exactly.
not good. I think someone had a really good example. I haven't seen any of the Pacific Rim films, but they were pointing out how in the first Pacific Rim, like everything is filmed as if you're like it's a real cameraman. So if they've got a drone shot or something or a helicopter shot, then it's like has to keep its distance, and then everything else that's close up like is from the ground and it's shaking and all that kind of stuff and it's looking up at them. And they just dropped that completely in the second film, and they had some like examples of it, and it made a world of difference because suddenly they just looked like, you know, humans in a set, because nothing implied the scale about like where the camera position was.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Ruben, can you post that without? Is there a version with like just the background behind it, or has that been painted over?
No, there's like 300 layers, so I've had to collapse a ton of stuff, and it's
Okay,
just a stressful time.
That's fine. I mean, to be honest, I don't think
I
you
ran out of
need-
scratch disk.
I don't think
a
you need a
nightmare.
specific background, but I think something which like shows where the background is, like at the edge of the table, would be cool. So the first thing I think is just like masking like something which really shows that there's a background behind it, and you can keep it like essentially fully opaque at the top, as long as you just like cut out some of the stuff behind along the edge of the table. I think almost this alone does enough to show you that it's a hologram.
Oh, cool! Yeah, that's a shout.
So then, yeah, I would just like for certain bits have it pop on top again. If you want to feel like more solid in certain areas. But I like the like you've got the interlacing kind of look, which works really well.
Yeah. I haven't practiced many interiors, so I decided, this is something that's got to happen.
It's got to happen at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, it's looking really cool. Another one would just be potentially like putting some like light noise that sort of denotes some sort of like beam coming up from the side. So like a containment, like an area that's contained for just the hologram. So like using the edges of the table works pretty well for it.
Strong Beyond Strong says use a find edges filter and invert it, then color dodge on the hologram layer. Do that after a surface blur. How many photos were used for this? Holy. The research must have taken more time than implementation. No, it didn't actually. Trust me that the implementation has taken more time. Yeah, the research wasn't actually that bad because the style of it is like so the brief is kind of okay. There's a British war general, and it's the year is in the future, and it's futuristic but harps back to kind of just British stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously he's in his quarter house. He's in his kind of like got a mansion kind of a vibe, and he's betrayed England, and so this is a new world war, and this is the darkest time in that war, and we've got a kind of the guy in the tied down is like a James Bond kind of character,
Yeah.
and the war general's watching us, the hologram as
Displays London being trashed.
London's about to get absolutely lapped up.
Man, I'm starting to feel his pain. He's like, no!
Yeah, he's like, no,
Jenny!
please don't.
Jenny's still in her home. How could you do this, you monster?
He's like, oh, please don't. And he's like, nah, I think I will. He's like, no.
And he's like, what are you gonna do to stop me?
Yeah, right.
I like
So
it.
filmic.
It's really cool. Yeah, I just made it darker and warmer in the shadows so that the blue's more blue.
More blue.
It does a make shadow less blue, so the light look more blue. Very simple. Yeah, but I think the main thing for the hologram is just you need to show the edge behind it, so the edge of the table.
Yeah, man. I think like, yeah, that's just such a good point. It's like after a while, you look at the same piece for so long that you can't judge what's a good decision anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's thank you. That's a
Alright.
good suggestion.
I'm glad I could help. But definitely try out the steps that were suggested in the chat. I didn't follow them when you read them out, so
There's many things to try. There's like some chromatic aberration. I think there's like a line filter. Cool. I like what you did where you put up, you made the lasso selection and then put up like it's like in a cube, you know.
Yeah, like this round.
You kind of used
feel.
you used like that.
You could actually go
brush.
higher. You could give the cube a top, and then it would be like, oh look, it's like a 3D hologram. It has a defined space.
That's pretty sick. I think I'm definitely gonna have to do some like different iterations, and that could be pretty cool for like a portfolio piece, having some different kind of hologram concepts.
Yeah. Also, Strong Beyond Strong says clang, of course, in response to Berserk. Shame Premiere's 3D CG shit. Yeah, so Premiere I think was a bit too crazy in places with its use of 3D, but in general, I loved Premiere. It was great fun.
I'm not sure.
It's a film, so I actually saw it in cinema, which was awesome. In Newcastle, like it's like, where's the demand for this?
What the heck?
Random anime film in Newcastle, but they had it on like literally for 2 nights, I think. I really enjoyed it, but you know, it was just because it was a mad ride. I would say that
strong opinions about 3D CG.
Yeah, it looked really good. Like any scene paused, I think would look great. It's just there was a lot of movement in the camera, as you can expect. It was a bit too much. Also, Strong, have you seen Dead Leaves? I only watched that recently somehow. I don't know how it's evaded me for so long, but that was amazing. It's the same character designer and director duo that's responsible for Kill la Kill, but it's like that sort of animation somehow turned up to 1,000. Like it's even more bombastic than that.
That sounds awesome.
It's just amazing. It's so much fun.
By the way, if you watched like Mob Psycho,
Yep.
Did you watch the 2nd season?
Yeah, so good.
So good, right?
Yeah.
I think, wow, like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was incredible.
But yeah, like on the topic of 3D CG, I think they're gonna start getting good soon. I think animes that have done it right so far is there's a Netflix anime spin-off of like a sci-fi series, and I can't remember what it's called. But the 3D CG there was actually really good. Berserk was a train wreck. I feel like there's a new Ghost in the Shell series, which is entirely 3D CG, and the first 5 episodes I hated it, and then all the rest of the episodes I got really into it.
It's got a cushion of Ilya.
Altered Carbon, yeah, it was Altered Carbon. Someone in the chat got it.
Oh, that's cool.
They did an anime spin-off called Resleeved or something, and the animation, the 3G CG, in my opinion, is better than the second season. You know.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Big words.
As they say here in Germany. Oh yeah, sehr gut.
So good.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know about you, but Ghost in the Shell was like one of my favorite series ever. I absolutely love Standalone Complex and the films,
Yeah,
excluding the live action. And so when I heard a new series was being made by people that did Standalone Complex, it was like, oh my god, But
it's production IG, isn't it?
New Evangelion film this year, supposedly. I'm not sure if you've watched the last Evangelion film, but it's pretty much one of the best things ever.
Oh, 3.33.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. The thing I love about it is there's this big like a video essay, and it's about the purpose of the rebuild films. And I love it because it's.
So what's the conclusion from that?
I'm gonna butcher it as I try and reformulate the point in my mind. But you have the original, which ultimately the sort of message is about not running away from your problems. It's like confronting reality or whatever, and it's like, in a way, it's about not relying on escapism to, basically shrug off responsibility.
Interesting.
And so Hideaki Anno is like, I can't remember what the reason was, but he became very depressed during the latter half of the creation. I can't remember why. But
during Neon Genesis?
Yeah, during Neon Genesis. I can't remember what it was about.
I can tell you, my friend. So what happened was they were absolutely slamming the production, and they had an episode.
It was the episode with the chemical weapon, wasn't it?
With the chemicals, and then in Tokyo, I think, or a place in Japan, there was an actual chemical weapon attack.
Right, yeah, they had to just cut it, and then they were just like, shit.
And then they were behind for the rest of the time, and they were really struggling.
Yeah.
And what originally got me into Neon Genesis, into Evangelion, is that I knew that, the series starts off almost like a happy mecha, and then it turns into it spirals into this depressing, psychological thing, and that was a subset of the fact of how the director was feeling, because they were struggling so much, and they ran out of budget, and it was like they were just trying to slam it, and it just turned into this really dark thing, and I love that, you know.
It was really cool, and it ended up like exploring ideas that I'm assuming it couldn't have if it was if everything was all peach.
It made it one of it's exactly, like a very unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
Made I think a unique.
Yeah, I think a lot of that must still have been like somewhat planned from the beginning. Like a lot of the overarching themes, but I imagine it just went that step further, and like the fantastic scenes of like the elevator scene.
Oh, I know.
So anyway, essentially the result of the show was like the start of the otaku culture. So, like the merchandising and stuff that was a result of it, and essentially the amount of escapism that people actually used the show for in their real lives. Like the point of characters like Ray. Is it Ray's blue girl, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The way fans took that was just like, that's the perfect character because I can project whatever I want onto it, and it's like my perfect escapist fantasy waifu. Essentially the total opposite of the point of that character. Anyway, so all of these things, like, I think are essentially what Hideaki Anno hated about Evangelion. Like, there was a great comment which sort of summed that part up, which was, people hate Evangelion for starting otaku culture, and then the creator of Evangelion hates it for the same reason, and then makes the rebuilds to basically address that. So in the rebuilds, you don't have any of the like, you get a strange sense that all the characters start to fall in love with Shinji, which is like total opposite of how the original worked, and it's like essentially just the sort of dumbed down version that the fans wanted or acted as if they wanted.
Yeah.
And then Shinji fucks up because he chooses. He wants to save Rei, and despite like essentially dooming humanity, and up to that point, Rei has basically just been a lifeless doll. Not quite, not totally yet, but yeah, she like we're sort of like, well, the sensible thing here is obviously to not fuck up humanity, but he chooses his waifu anyway, and everything gets fucked. So then the second film, like, none of the characters have been able to move on. They're all stuck in like their same I can't remember how odd they're supposed to be, but like their physicality doesn't change. It's kind of like they couldn't grow up or whatever. I don't know. All of this is like reading into the things that are in the film, but I can't remember where it goes. Yeah, and then Shinji like wants to, like, he finds Rei and is like, oh yeah, great, at least I saved her, and she's not like, she's just a clone and doesn't respond at all to anything. So it's like, what did you get for like fucking everything up, fucking your life up, and using this like escapist fantasy to ignore the real problems? Well, you get a Rei that doesn't respond to anything. It's like, it can be whatever you want it to be because it literally does nothing on its own. And I can't remember, it sort of goes on with this sort of metaphor, but essentially the idea is that the plot is addressing all the problems and like the misconceptions that people had of the first series, or like the way people acted. They sort of understood the message perhaps, but then just didn't take it to heart. Like, it's about not using escapism and that kind of thing, and yet, you know, they just use it as a way to I don't know, I can't think of proper like the word examples, but it was something along those lines. I just found the video and it'll do a much better job of explaining it. But I love that.
It's interesting. So, I mean,
it makes a lot of sense as well.
It does make
considering
sense.
him as a creator.
Yeah.
But, guys, I gotta go. It's getting late, and I'm gonna try. Axel, do you want to work out? Do you want to work out?
Oh.
All right, I gotta work out. So let's go see you guys.
See ya.
Okay, man, see you.
And take care.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Working out at this time, mad people.
Oh, I just realized though, today's the day I'm supposed to do HIIT. I don't want to do that. But today's the day I'm supposed to, so how do I reconcile this?
Nightmare.
Oh, maybe I will.
Ooh.
A bunch of good suggestions in the comments about watching Tekken Concrete and Mind Game. Yes.
Oh yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, I absolutely cannot wait for the Evangelion. But it has been, feels like centuries.
Hey, and it is about time I watched Karakano, so.
Ooh, yeah.
I just haven't. I've
There's
been
so
meaning to.
many things to watch.
I know, right? Shinji Karu. Yeah, he got Karu for a while.
There's no freaking time. What's your top 5 anime?
I worked this out the other day and I can't remember exactly what it is, but Ping Pong, Mob Psycho, the one that I'm currently forgetting, Kill Kill. This. Oh man, I can feel it in my brain, but it's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I have to go on Mal. I actually, at one point, started to list things that I've watched, but I have since forgotten to.
Oh, have you watched? It's called Made in Abyss.
That's it. There we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is that 5? Did I get to 5?
So I think that's 5. That's so funny.
Yeah. So that would be it.
Do you know they've redone the series in films, in 3 films?
I knew they were making films,
2
but
films.
I didn't know it covered the first bit of story.
Yeah, so they had 2 or 3 films out, and I thought, oh my god, I haven't seen this, and then I had to watch it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to watch those.
But they are just the series recapped, and so the next
okay.
film is going to actually be a
That's
sequel.
gonna be the new stuff, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably watch it anyway because I know I'll enjoy it.
It's so good.
I really like, and I would want to squeeze this onto the list. Tatami Galaxy, that's
Okay.
my niche pick. That's my. Oh yes, I'm a cultured, big brain guy. It's a very clever show for clever people,
Oh,
like me. Other ones that. Yeah, what have I listed? Unfortunately, it lists films in here, so I have to just like filter out movies. But yeah, they're my 10s.
Okay. Very interesting.
And then the things I've given a 9 apparently: Evangelion, FLCL, Golden Boy. I fucking love Golden Boy. That's another niche one. Gurren Lagann.
That's really cool.
Kaiba's really cool. the funniest anime I've ever watched is Detroit Metal City. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like low budget, short 7-minute episode things, and they're just so good. Exactly. Man, Strong Beyond Strong, I feel like you're into a lot of things that I have. I'm feeling a kinship. Mushishi,
Yeah.
I haven't got around to seeing Mushishi yet, but I'm been meaning to. I started watching Psycho-Pass and then forgot to finish because I was watching it. I'd copied it onto my phone so I could watch it on like a trip, and then the trip was just busy or more interesting, or I just didn't have time to continue, so I forgot.
It's good. It's good. I watched I watched 2 seasons and one of the films. Because my ex absolutely loved it, so we slammed that shit.
Ah, yeah.
It was very good. The issue I had with the film is that they have a lot of foreign relations with like Americans, and so it's like Japanese voice actors.
Oh, so they just have the awful voice acting.
And it's so bad.
That's funny.
And it's so bad, and I just couldn't get past how bad it was. And I was saying like, this is awful. I can't listen to this.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
It's so funny.
Something that's come to mind, Nichijou. I watched it just a couple of weeks ago with Alicia, and that was excellent.
It's a good shout. Have you ever seen, and I think you'll like this as a piano player as well, it's a slice of life anime called Kids on the Slope.
I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list.
I think you would really like it, and it's got a great ending scene, and it's about a guy playing piano, and you would love it. That's what I'm saying.
Cool. I'll. So I downloaded something the other day because my brother recommended it. I can't remember what it was called, and I was like, nah, this seems dull, or at least it doesn't seem good enough. But then I'm gonna watch it now, so I shall switch my current watching thing out to be something else.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever given like the Fate Stay series? Or sorry, I should say the Fate series. Have you ever given that a go?
No, because there's too much, and I don't know where to start.
Start with Fate Stay Night.
That's what I've come across, but I'm sort of like, I don't think I'm gonna like it enough. I don't know. It could just be because it's like a popular thing I see around, and I'm just like, popular?
Yes.
No, I need something underground.
You need it before it was popular, like.
Yeah, exactly. If I could have watched it before anyone else knew about it, I would have loved it. And then been like, well, it was okay when everyone else loves it.
Yeah, it's like, what was that one? Oh yeah, Tokyo Ghoul. Everyone like lost their minds for Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh yeah.
And God, I feel like it only got worse as it went on.
Yeah. I didn't see any of it. I've seen stuff about it, of course, but I haven't seen any of it yet. Hey,
yeah.
sorry, soundtracks that I love, and I haven't actually seen the anime yet. No, is it Tokyo? Oh, crumbs! I can't remember what it is now.
Crumbs.
Crumbs. I think it has Tokyo in the name. It's also about what? Maybe not also. It's like a terrorist thing. I think the characters have numbers for names.
Characters have numbers for names. Is it prison school?
No. I think it's a bit more serious. Not prison school. Which I also haven't seen yet, but I certainly know it.
I mean, don't. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
What was it? It's a Yoko Kanno soundtrack. I mean, pretty much everything by her is just fantastic. But
is it Zanku
no Terror? That's it. Yep,
Good shout, Strong Beyond Strong. You are clearly a connoisseur.
They are. yeah, same person that did Bebop.
Oh, I swear I know this.
And a bunch of other fantastic things. Wolf's Rain soundtrack's really nice. I watched a bit of Wolf's Rain, but it was really slow and I never finished it. It was a very long time ago.
Yeah, dude. In terms of top series for me,
oh yeah, your favorites.
I think can't order it in like the best, but I absolutely adore Standalone Complex.
Cool.
I absolutely
good shout.
I absolutely adore Gantz. I really love Gantz, and people shit on Gantz because I think Gantz actually goes so much so much deeper than people see it at a face level.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely like an absolute clunker. If you actually like understanding I love the messages of like how just like selfish the human race is, you know, and how anyone just dies and things are dangerous, and I really like that in anime. I like despair. I like a feeling of despair, you know.
Cool.
Like that's cool to me, and that's probably why I liked Evangelion too.
Yeah.
I really loved Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, good shout.
That is an absolute clunker. And gosh, yeah, like probably like Kill la Kill or like Devilman Crybaby or like Full Metal Alchemist or something like that, you know.
Yeah, Full Metal's like I really enjoyed it, but I for whatever reason like it didn't feel like as it was big and epic. I don't know what it was that I didn't like fall in love with, because I could see why it was so good. It wasn't like maybe the right aesthetic or something. Because like I know that I really enjoyed it. It's just, and I see how special it is as well. But yeah, for whatever reason, the aesthetic just isn't like quite what I'm about. Unlike something like Gurren Lagann, which felt just as like big, but I preferred the general aesthetic of it.
Oh, that's a whole other thing entirely. Aesthetic wise. Oh, by the way, did you ever watch the Castlevania series?
Haven't yet, no. I'd like to.
Absolutely slam that. Have you got Netflix?
I don't, but I download everything, so it's fine.
Yeah, you can find it. I don't.
I don't, no. No, I still
don't.
don't got Netflix. I think it make it too easy for me to watch stuff all the time, so...
It's English. It's easy.
It's a bit too easy. I wouldn't spend the time doing anything else, I'd just watch Netflix.
Thanks for your suggestion. I'll check out that. He suggested something with deep despair, and I can't wait for it.
Oh, Technolize, yeah, I need to watch Technolize. So recently I watched Lane, Serial Experiments Lane, on my backlog of like stuff that I need to catch up on so that I'm cultured. And so Technolize is another one that I need to watch. Yeah. I have no idea what we're listening to at the music-wise at the moment though. Let's find out. Oh, it's just later Trauma Center tracks. But I don't care about this one. Not as good as the first one. Man, tomorrow I might just have to not talk to anyone and just listen to music. Archipel, interview with ABE. Oh. That's another thing to check out.
Let's have a look at Lane.
There's some fantastic visuals from Lane.
Oh, I've seen this. I've fucking seen this. I saw this after Evangelion. I was like on that hype train of just really abstract kind of stuff.
Big brain shit, my dude. Big brain.
Yeah, I feel like it crosses the line where at some point I'm just bored and I'm not seeing anything substantial and I need some bright, I just need a bunch of shapes and colors thrown in my direction.
I need some kill. Yeah.
I don't know. Lane for me got a bit too far. I mean,
I think I was watching most of it on the train journey, and something like maybe it was because of that. I was just like fully sucked in and immersed the whole time. I think it's because I knew that.
What a strange thing to watch on the train.
Yeah, but like. I think it was really quiet, at least one of my journeys was, and there was nothing else to do, so I wasn't distracted at all. Like I didn't think, oh, I'll go and do something else, or I'll go and eat, or anything like that, so I just got totally immersed in it, and I think that was perfect to watch it, because then like everything, it felt like stuff was speaking to me directly rather than me having to try and interpret stuff, Maybe that's just the general theme of the show, but yeah, I started like feeling its vibe rather than trying to be like, why did they just say that thing? Or what does that particular visual mean? Sounds pretty pretty pretentious, but yeah.
I started reading meanings for it, and it's too much for me right now. Yeah. Some deep stuff, man.
Galaxy brain. Oh yeah, I mean, just as soon as Lane starts up, you've got the daylight, like the really harsh black shadows with this like pulsating red in it. It's just gorgeous. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Alright, let's give her a spice rack on the inside of her armor, because she can now interact with it separately, and where else are you going to keep your spices?
It's like she's got like a butler's pantry in her suit, and I love it.
Yeah.
Every feature of a kitchen in the the mobile suit.
I mean, what would your first priority be if you had like a giant piece of armor? What would you want first? I think I might just need somewhere to piss.
I mean, yeah, okay. That's a great idea.
Nah, maybe not. Don't need it really. Just as long as you've got like easy access, it's fine. Doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah, like yeah, like a folds out, you know.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is like I guess with something that's as big as this, you can always make your own privacy.
Oh, so Strong Beyond Strong mentioned about how the film director of Paprika, he left a letter before he died. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. That probably sounds like really like something very deep, you know.
Oh, I mean, on that topic, I finally got around to watching Perfect Blue.
That's one of my... Okay, so earlier when I was listing top fives, that was series, but if we're talking movies, Perfect Blue.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you like the despair,
dude, that is
the
like
dark shit.
That sums up like the shit I'm into like pretty well. Like, oh, what an amazing film. Yeah, that shit's rough, man. No two ways about it.
Yeah. Also, I've left the Google tab open. This is all stuff I'm gonna have to catch up with tomorrow to read that letter.
Yes, yeah, so many things to go into. Strong Beyond Strong is, in art is laying on some wisdom. Guys.
Yeah, laying down all the greats.
They're feeding us
all the greats. Stop distracting us, God. We've got to spend this month creating. I can't watch all this anime now.
I've done like maybe 5 actions on this painting since I've been in this call.
Oops. Yeah.
Oops.
That's when you know the chat's good.
Yeah, man. Have you got a new issue between your Intuos and Photoshop with the new kind of updates whereby when you click a layer it double clicks it, and therefore just when you press a layer once with your pen it double clicks it?
That sounds horrible. No, I don't. Very luckily.
You are so lucky. I did an update, a Photoshop update, and now this is my life.
Oh man, that sucks.
Everything's a double click. Can you imagine how much longer it just becomes to do everything?
Yeah. Man, that's a real pain.
Nightmare. Oh, mate, it is really... Can
you roll back at all? Like, in before they fix it? Because they'll get to it eventually, but...
I'll have to probably figure it out, but it's effort, do you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
It's like yeah, it'll fix the issue, but at the same time, I'm a lazy boy.
Yep.
It's always such a danger doing updates, man.
Imagine upgrading Photoshop past CS6. Oh man. I can't. It's not gonna happen.
Dude, okay, so I have a friend who is like he is CS6 and nothing else, okay?
Yeah.
But
like me.
I'm in the CC clan, and I tell you why, okay? They have an object selection tool.
I saw that recently and I was like, oh man, that's useful.
which uses AI, okay? And let me just tell you something, Thomas, okay? It's so fucking good that I can just grab a photo and pull one. I never have to lasso things again. I'm like, okay, I want to take this part of his armor. I just pull it off. Okay, I like his hand. I'm gonna take his arm or this weapon or this window. It just does it for me, and seconds go by, and it's so useful for bashing.
Yeah, alright, okay. So the thing is, I can upgrade, because I can just, like, we get individual accounts at work, so I can double it. Like, you're allowed 2 instances of it. So I can log in at home, and I've just been, like, putting it off because, I don't know, I might have to install my brushes again. Just imagine that. Alright, yeah, I think it's about time I do. Because I also like the ability to put smoothing on my brush, because for some reason, like, at the wrong zoom, I get, like, horrible staggering of the brush. If I'm doing diagonals, it's just like, it ignores the fact that, I don't know, it's like a high resolution image.
Yeah.
I can't get it at the moment, but it just does this sometimes, and I'm like, why? Why are you doing that? Come on.
So, what I do now is on my Google Drive, I have my brushes and I have my shortcuts. And so,
wherever you go, yeah.
wherever I go, come in. And when I started at Mercedes, it was a nightmare to get just an English version of Photoshop installed, because it's such a big company and the IT crew is huge. You have to go through so many steps, and essentially they had to getting me set up on a machine with all of my tools, and we didn't even get to all of my tools. Took about 2 weeks, and we had to uninstall the whole Adobe thing, and it had to be done remotely, and then there had to be admin access, and it was
man.
just, and then I said, hey, can I get these add-ons? And they were like, absolutely not. You know?
No.
And I was trying to barter with the guy who buys all the software to get 3D code, because that's my only 3D tool is 3D code.
Yeah.
And it was so stressful. Yeah, we never got there in the end. And the rendering software they use is VRED, Autodesk VRED, so very interesting software. It's kind of like KeyShot, but like more sophisticated.
Okay.
And so yeah, I've just been adapting to the kind of the ways that they've been doing it.
Yeah.
I've always meant to get on Blender. I see everyone slamming Blender.
Do it.
Yeah.
Fuck, do it, yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this thing I did in Eevee. Wow, that's good. I'm giving it a hard time, but it's maybe it's because I don't like going with the flow. You know, I think it's also because I'm just lazy. And learning Blender is so intimidating because I'm happy with 3D Coat and Octane.
Right, yeah.
I'm happy with it, but I see some really cool stuff with KitOps and the cutout tool, I think it's called. There's some awesome stuff. And I know Blender's like the new cool thing, but I don't know, it stresses me out personally because it's just not that friendly. If you know Maya and you know Modo and you know those things, then
If you're really familiar with something else, yeah, definitely.
moving to Blender is just like, you have to, like, at least those programs are all fairly similar. When you move to Blender, it's like a whole new kind of thing to pick up.
Admittedly, it's now much closer since the update. Like they've at least taken on the. I mean, this isn't new now, but like right click and left click stuff is now like you'd expect from all other programs and stuff like that. So they've made a lot of things which make it very similar. You now have like a movement gizmo if you want it, but you can use the shortcuts if you don't want it. They've done a ton of things which makes it really, really accessible. I know the bare minimum to get like silly little renders.
Do you just grey box or do you go for like a proper render?
So this is the thing, I've been using it for like birthday cards. I sketch stuff out. I'll show you. I'll put them on screen. Where are they? I love it. It's so much fun because there's no like pressure to make it look good because it's just silly. Actually, I'll load it up in Blender and then I can show you. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, do it.
I just need to set up a window. New source. I need a window capture.
Yeah, Stronger and Strong, I really want to learn Hard Ops, Box Cutter, and Decal Machine. But essentially, I feel like all the Box Cutter things I can at least do in 3D Code. And for Hard Ops stuff, I just kind of use displacement maps on Octane to get when it comes to like more sci-fi hard surface. And I've done freelance jobs where just using displacement maps for iterations has really worked out for me. But I saw Ben Morrow do some really cool stuff. He's the art director on Halo Infinite, and he's done some awesome stuff with those add-ons. Oh, is this the Blender?
So I did it in Gravity Sketch. It's my younger brother playing the trombone.
Oh, the VR kit, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got the quest. Look at him. So I just like applied the simplest materials, so I could get like a nice looking metallic render. But it's so much fun.
The trumpet boy.
Trombone players. He's got like shiny lips and whatever.
So is it Cycles or Eevee?
Cycles. So Eevee would be like this, or not like this. Hold on. This is using Eevee. It's not been set up by me. It's added like it's an automatic lighting and HDRI, but this is currently using Eevee, and I could turn on like shadows and stuff, cast shadows and things. But even so, it's like a great way to visualize very roughly, because obviously this is so much nicer than that, but it's still real time.
Let's see.
There's the other one I did for my older brother. This is my younger brother, and my older brother, his shtick is programming. So oh god, what's going on here? Yeah, look at this. Typing away on his computer. So I took a render like this or something. He doesn't have it back. But it's just really fun. I really enjoy it because it's so satisfying to make something like this. And you just put in some simple lights and it's like, oh, you know, it don't look bad.
Very sick.
What else did I do? I did this. Look at this cute boy. Well, he can't help what he's doing right now. He's sorry. It's just his nature. I watched
tasty, some of the subsurface scattering.
Right? So basically there's a fantastic video, it's like a rip-off, or I can't think of the word. It's like there's Apple adverts, but it's for the Plumbus from Rick and Morty. It's the Plumbus X. It's an excellent video, and I watched it and I was like, I'm just gonna do I want to do something squishy, shiny, and with a ton of subsurface, because that's what they've done. And I figured it wouldn't be too difficult. I'll put
Yeah.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah, I think so.
We present to you the Plumbus X. We made the Dinklebug 15% larger
It's the physics of it. It's
and
pretty
shrunk
cool.
down the flange fluid, so you
Yeah.
can get even more noodles in your ditch.
The Screeb rubs the
Yeah.
cloth.
The Screed rubs the flea, and then collects all the flea juice. Then a Grumbo comes over And he spits
And he
on
spits,
it.
rubs
And he
it.
rubs it too. It's so good. Oh, sorry, I closed Blender. But it looks squishy. It doesn't work so well with Eevee because I've got a really, really high subsurface setting.
You know, for
That's
like,
beautiful lips. Sorry. Yeah.
for like squishy stuff and for like liquid stuff and for like crystals, I used to use Keyshot, and I absolutely love some of the renders you can get from Keyshot on that kind of stuff. Just never been able to achieve it in Octane.
Ah, shame.
Mm.
I remember I did all of my first 3D stuff in Keyshot. I can't
It's very
remember.
friendly.
So I think my music's a bit too loud. I'm occasionally finding it hard to hear what you're saying.
Mm.
Turn down you.
Man, I should start working on this contest like you are, fam.
Oh yeah.
It'd be cool if we both win again, huh?
Oh heck yeah. Dude, in it to win it.
Yeah, bro.
That would be awesome.
Like,
Unfortunately,
just, yeah, again, like, yeah.
I was gonna say it's gonna be tough.
I know. Well, it's tough for you because you're in the character category, and I'm seeing some serious players in that category.
I know. I'm just like, please stop joining. Come on. I just want to win.
Yeah.
That is my. What? It's a goal. It's first in the art station character design.
How many badges do you have right now? I only have that one from the golden ticket. I bet you have quite a few now on your
I
profile.
don't think so. What do you get badges for?
You get badges for winning competitions on ArtStation.
Do you get them for honorable mentions and stuff?
I think so, yeah.
What does it say? Is it about?
It's in
Oh,
your- you probably have a few, I'd imagine.
a few is 3 and up, so yeah, you're correct. Now I'm gonna paste it into Photoshop so you can see it. Wow, amazing!
Wow. Oh, Synthesis has asked, TCK, how old are you, dude? Is this a
Take a
question you'd like
guess.
to answer?
Take
Yeah,
a guess.
guess. Try guess.
Whilst I remember myself.
Yeah, he has to remember. Yeah, so
I think
you
the
have
first time you asked me, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh no, I won't say it.
It's always fun. How people guess.
Yeah, I shat myself.
Hey, but the point is, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm
it does-
older now, so like I'm not as annoyingly young.
Yeah. Controversial topic, and actually no, I don't think it is. I actually think your answer is I don't care, or I don't mind. What do you think about like when you see people's profiles and they post their age on there and stuff, and this and that? You know,
So it's like
something
it's
opinion
odd.
about?
I think it's odd because like it's not a good message to send. At the same time, a lot of the time I'm like, oh, I was interested, so you know, like I asked the question in my head even though I know that it doesn't really matter. So it's interesting to then get the response without necessarily asking for it. I think if I could have a way, I would prefer no one revealed their age unless they were asked. Because I don't
Yes.
think it's good to constantly remind people, oh look, you're behind, you know, you're over
Yeah,
25 now. You should be already working in the industry and all that kind of stuff.
I agree. Like I appreciate your honesty on that because I'm the same, and it's like okay, I was wondering how old this guy was. I'm seeing his art,
Exactly.
and it's like oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, okay. But then at the same time, it is that kind of thing where you start there's the comparison then, and that's not necessarily good. Like take like it's like you say, it doesn't matter. Like Steve Corman started when he was like 30, and now he's like one of the sickest, like realistic kind of map painters like I know, and he's in ILM, and he's just done all this amazing stuff, and it just doesn't matter. Like there's a few like of my idols, and they didn't start until like they hit their 30s, you know. And that's okay. Like there shouldn't be some kind of stigma or anything attached to age.
That's the thing. I don't think there is. It's just for anyone that's studying and hasn't like started to work professionally or anything. It's just the feeling that they're not doing it quick enough, or they're behind, or
and you should never feel that.
You should be able to do something good when you're younger, because that's like, if you manage to do this cool thing younger than someone else, then well, of course you're better because you got there first.
Yeah, dude. When Phil was mentoring me, okay, he's the same age as me. You know, as he was mentoring me, and it's
because he's only a couple of months older than me.
Yeah, so like he went to FCD and he had all this kind of amazing knowledge, and when I told my friends, they kind of laughed, and it's like I've never thought about it like that. It's like I don't care that he's the same age, you know, because we both share the same passion, and that's what matters, you know.
Yeah, and ultimately it's not going to mean that you're going to be like, oh well, I'm not sure about his opinion on this.
Of course, and you know, everyone has their own kind of path, you know. It's the more and more I've started to like kind of get into work in this industry, the more and more I've realized that I'm missing. Sometimes I kind of have a feeling that I'm missing life, and maybe it would be nice at some point to take a hiatus and to just spend some time. Yeah, just to spend some time in a different lane of life, you know, just kind of doing something else, and however long that takes, and there's absolutely no problem with that.
I was kind of unrelated, but I was listening to an interview with How to Basic.
Yes.
I think it's the first one he's done, and he had like a voice filter on and stuff, because you know, it's still this big not revealing his identity stuff. But he was saying that like at one point he picked up a job in, I can't remember what it was, but it was just like a very sort of basic task. It was, I think it was a burger restaurant or something, and he was just like washing dishes or something, because he just wanted to try something different. Did it for a bit, enjoyed it, and then went back to. I think he did it at the same time as making stuff, but it was like when he was becoming incredibly popular, and he didn't need to, of course, because he didn't need money for it. Yeah, and I just thought that was really fun, cool thing.
No, that's a complete and utter like flip of the script.
Yeah.
That actually brings up an interesting topic. What do you think you would do if you weren't doing this?
So there was a point where I asked myself, oh, should I try and make music and and really pursue that? And of course that feels very far-fetched, because it's way too hard.
I know.
It's way too like that one, even more than it's like about the situation you're in, I think. And it's whether you get picked up by the right person, that kind of thing. So I feel it's very unrealistic.
It's way more futile.
Yeah. But the realistic thing would just be I would have gone to uni to do natural sciences, because I had a place to do that, and I ended up changing my mind and essentially saying, by the way, I want to rescind my application. I'm not going to go there anymore. And that's when I just started to study on my own instead. But
interesting.
Yeah, so I'd be working in research probably, because I still enjoy that stuff. But I knew that if I went to uni for natural sciences, I would. At that point, I was really getting into art. I was like, I'm not going to spend enough time doing my actual work. I'm just going to be making art, because that's what I want to do. I can feel
Yeah,
that it's what I want to do now.
That's actually so interesting. I feel like we're actually very similar in that way. In college, I was really into music, and I was trying to record instrumental solo stuff, and at the same time, I was in a band. And I remember telling my parents, well, my mum, because my parents are split up, and specifically, they were just like, "Oh God, please no."
Yeah, it's like, do you know what you just said?
Yeah, just don't. And I said, "Okay, I'll do art instead."
And they went, well, but that's not what we was. It's like when we said don't do this, like literally anything else would be better. We didn't mean art.
It's an incredibly futile industry, and I decided I'll go into a slightly less futile industry.
That's really funny. I mean, basically, the thing is, compared to music, is that in the art industry, there is a standard that you need to achieve, and when you achieve it, you can get work.
Get jobs, yeah.
Sure, like certain positions and certain jobs are a roll of the dice. It's like if you know, reach out to the right person at the right time, that kind of thing. But ultimately, it doesn't matter about the circumstance if you don't have the right work to present. Whereas it's obviously you like all pop stars are talented. They're very skilled in some respect. It's just far more subjective about how good or not they are.
Yeah, of course, and there's such a degree of luck as well.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we totally skipped over. Synthesis, guessed correctly. I'm 22 at the moment.
You're 22, and I turned 23 last month.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, because you're about 9 months older or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I would have been in the year above.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If we were, I had like a slight head start on like being able to just study on my own, because at secondary school I was in the year above, so I ended school a year early. That's when I could then take the art foundation course, like, because I don't think my parents would have, or they would have been far less accepting at first of me going like, oh, I want to do art instead of this uni course. And so I deferred the entry and did the foundation course, which was free, and like obviously I was going to enjoy it. And it was during that I was like, oh, this is obviously what I want to do. But it meant that I could get in to start doing my own digital stuff. Like I started a lot earlier, because that's when I basically discovered Feng Zhu, sort of halfway through that course, and I just binged all of that and started doing digital things. With tutors that, of course, knew nothing about it. They were like, there's a graphics department, but that was poster design and that kind of thing. So I ended up in the sort of fine arts / illustration class. And essentially was just left to do whatever I wanted, because they were like, well, what you're doing looks good, so just go for it. We can't really help. And then at the end of that, it was just the question, do I go to any uni for something art related? And like,
that was the thing for me.
Basically,
so,
go for it.
We're very, I feel like, you in terms of talking about both our paths, you definitely discovered it earlier. And because you had that year and you had the opportunity to do that foundation, I feel like at the end I was studying philosophy, psychology, and art and photography. So I was doing 4 A-levels.
I love it, because that is the total opposite of me.
Yeah, right. You're pure science.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the end of it, I discovered like Noah Bradley and that kind of stuff. And so the only way there was no way I could have gone to FCD or Brainstorm. That just wasn't on the cards. My parents wouldn't have been able to afford it, and even if they had, they wouldn't have trusted me to say, oh hey, there's a private school, can you just send me to Singapore and
and cough up 30,000.
Cough it up.
It's
And
only
so-
30,000, man. It's fine. We'll get me a job. I promise.
Exactly. So I went to uni doing illustration, and that's when I really started putting in the work. Although the first year was a lot of partying,
Yeah.
and then I transferred to Shanghai, and I didn't know art when I was in Shanghai at all.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's a bit rude.
Yeah, I know, dude. But it was good. Like for me personally, and this doesn't apply to anyone, of course, but for me personally, the uni experience was very good because I lived with people that did other things, and
I agree, because it's something I've totally missed out on. It's like that stage when you're kind of free to do stuff, but you're also half like learning responsibilities of living on your own.
It's such a good description. It's like some people like to make out that it's like just so intense, and it's like, of course it's not. You know, I think maybe it's an English thing, but it's like you go to uni to get trolleyed. You know. And,
yeah, absolutely told me.
Yeah.
Every night, man. The thing is, my main experience of uni is through my girlfriend, who's at Cambridge doing medicine, and so actually, I understand like what it is mostly in everywhere else, but this is like the niche example where it is actually just ridiculous amounts of work all the time. So
yeah, that's medicine and that's Cambridge.
Exactly.
Friend.
So it's not a good point of comparison.
I've just seen something really interesting in the chat.
Yeah, I was meaning to go back to it.
Yayin Art, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, says,
yeah.
I remember a few years ago reading a copy of Imagine FX where they interviewed TCK. And that's so interesting because I'm not sure, I don't think I told you this, but when I was at the end of secondary school, I had a friend, I had a godmother who was at Future Publishing, and I went to Bath for work experience, and I was like, on PC Gamer and Imagine FX.
Yeah.
And it really sparked my kind of passion towards digital art and that kind of thing. And that's just such an interesting kind of, and there is an old Imagine FX where I helped like design the pages and did like an illustration, and my name is like in the thing, and that was so cool. So I feel like that's really interesting that you got mentioned in that.
So yeah, it's because they're partnered with CubeBrush. So the CubeBrush are both of them, for both the character design one, so Art War 2, and the Worlds competition. They featured the winners in the episode. And I got my image put in big because I was the first place. So I think they also then like had a very, very brief interview bit with the winner.
Do you remember before like ArtStation that where you were a kid and you would buy Imagine FX, and
I borrowed them from someone, I can't remember who, or I saw them somewhere, but I never had them myself.
I distinctly remember seeing Raphael Lacoste, seeing that episode of Imagine FX, and I was like, oh my god, I need to buy this.
Right. Yeah.
DVD so I can see his process.
Yeah. That's cool. What do I think about the FCD YouTube channel? In case it wasn't obvious, I used it to learn pretty much everything at the beginning. I went through all the videos maybe twice. I don't know how well it holds up, but it was a great foundation for me. So yeah, I think there's a ton of gold in there, so definitely watch it. Since we're speaking of finding direction, would you say you've ever reached a point where you feel like you're at a standstill? And if so, how you went past it? I would say, because I've constantly switched between genres, I've never had that problem of like really feeling like I'm doing the same thing and getting stuck at it. I constantly find that I'm working on a piece and I'm not happy with it, and will like seek out something that will help me push it to the point that to the place I need it to be. but so far, no. I don't think I felt like a standstill in my art, and that's mostly because I keep doing stuff that's new. So I think that's the biggest advice for like if you're feeling really sort of stagnant is that you need to experience and try out a new process or style or subject matter. It could be something like learning Blender, and then like finding a way to use that in 2D art. I think that's the best approach, because otherwise, yeah, you can just get totally stuck trying to make something better, and it's really just that you're doing the same thing you've done before, so it no longer feels like you're progressing.
Yeah, no. I think TCK is one of those annoying people that can do everything, and
well, I mean, I did make a good cake the other day.
he makes good cakes. He makes fat beats in Fruity Loops, and he seems to just slam environments and characters and vehicles and whatever the task requires. I've stayed exclusively to environments, and getting a job at Mercedes forced me to go into vehicles.
Of course, yeah.
And technology visualization. Although I spent my first 2 months there just being like, okay, I'll do the environments around the cars.
Yeah. Once you're settling in, that makes a lot of sense though.
Yeah, of course, because it's like, okay, we need some keyframes for this say this advert, and this is the 3D model of the car. Okay, that's great, I can use that 3D model and just put it in a nice environment and paint it up.
Yeah.
But I've hit so many plateaus in environments, and what I was saying previously at the start of the stream was, for me, that's when it's time to get a mentorship, and that's a good opportunity to start watching your favorite artists and see if they offer mentorship programs. And it's usually between 500 and 1,000 pounds or dollars, and you can spend a semester with these people, and just they can really help you push you to the next level.
In fact, I don't know if there's any reason you'd know this person, but there's a guy called Daniel McGarry. I can't remember where the links between people end and begin. So if that doesn't ring a bell, then fair enough. I don't think there's any reason for you to know him, but he's known a bunch of other people because he's a UK kid. Anyway, he's recently done a mentorship with someone, and he's produced a fantastic piece, and he was just like, guys, I got a top trending spot, and he definitely deserved it because it's awesome. I think it's still on there actually. Canyon Gate. Here we go. I'll drop it in. And I've been chatting and giving feedback to him for a while, but the improvement, the huge jumps of improvement that I see is just awesome. And this time it's because he's been doing mentorship. He was describing how basically they just kept pushing him to go further with this image.
Well, that's the thing. When you're monitoring yourself, you even subconsciously set yourself. You don't want to do something, you won't necessarily push yourself to do it. And for me personally, I need someone to be stop avoiding doing this one thing and just do it. And you're gonna suck, and I'm gonna make you better. And
basically
that's how it has to be,
Yeah, so I do expect to be good.
Be 2 secs.
Cool. I was asking for the simple fact that I'm actually a full-time graphic designer and I really love concept art and illustration, but I don't know if my free time would be enough to turn out a passion in work. Yeah, so essentially it's the transfer where you're working on concept stuff on the side, until you've built a portfolio that's geared up enough. I think do what you can and do what you enjoy. I think that's the main thing, because if you enjoy your graphic design work and like you love concept art for for how it looks, for the ideas, for the creation process, then keep it like that. Like constantly push yourself to do better, because I think that's the thing that feels the most enjoyable with any art. But I don't know. I mean, it really just depends on situations. But instead of looking at it as like a thing that you need to get better at because you like, or you're not good enough at, I would really just look for the stuff that you enjoy about it. I've always looked at people like Evan, TCK, Alvin, Fleischer as what can be done. So I see the idea of mentorships as strange.
What up?
Oh, are those other two people, are they also like self-taught or self-study? Hello.
I see.
Oh, Tsukawa, hello. Welcome. With a party of 165. God damn. Welcome, everyone.
Holy heck.
Everyone from the previous stream, or from the previous audience, go and check out Tsukawa. They're fantastic. And also, they keep raiding, which is so kind. Thank you very much. How are you? How have you been? And what were you drawing? Put links in the chat. I want to see your most recent stuff. I'm joined at the moment with Ruben. I think we just linked him in the chat, but
Oh yeah, that would,
link it again.
Link it again.
Link it
Sure.
again.
Do you know what sucks though? Is that I can't post just all the stuff I've done at Mercedes, which I really loved. And because we're working on future concepts on cars that might come out in 10 to 15 years,
Yeah.
it just won't ever see the light of day.
Oh yeah, I know. Because like everything, it's not even like there's going to be an art book for like the car concept or something.
Exactly. There will never be that kind of
Place to put it. Make it
a
visible.
place to put it, and it saddens me greatly, you know. What I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to build like background assets, which I can reuse in personal pieces.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, this features a city where at least I can spend this time building a city and saving those assets for whenever I need to do that again.
Yeah. No, that's a really good idea. It's a good way to go about it.
It's just a shame the actual car stuff will never see the light of day.
Yeah. But you know.
So concerning your work right now, I'm guessing you won't ever be able to.
There'll be a ton of it. Some of it will go in an art book, which will be nice. But yeah, a ton of it will just never go anywhere.
Fade away.
It would be nice to keep some sort of personal record of them, and I think that would be allowed because a lot of the time you're allowed to use stuff that's sort of NDA, but like for something that's been released, and you can use it for portfolio. So like you can send it to clients if they want to see something in a particular style. Like I'm doing some prop work, and like that'll be useful if anyone ever asks for props and things. Like, look, this is what I've done. Yes. Actually studying graphic design myself and worked as GD before starting to study right. I had to do GD as main graphic design. Not sure if you want to become the main thing yet. Oh, okay. So happy you're streaming. Yes, I haven't streamed for about a month because I've just been spending time with my partner instead. Because during lockdown, it's like when you live with someone, it's been fantastic, but like we just do everything together. So there's like been no chance when we've started to do our own things in an evening. So
I think that's healthy.
just haven't streamed.
to-
It's been really
because-
nice, yeah, because I've actually like played some games and done that kind of stuff, like watched some
Yeah,
games.
I think it's healthy to take some time away.
Finally watched The
Yeah.
Godfather. Well, some of The Godfathers.
Oh, they're my favorite films, bro.
What do you think about the third? Apparently, it's
Oh no, it's about 1 and 2 mainly.
yeah, cool. They're the ones I've enjoyed. Although the second one I find really bizarre. Like I don't know what to take away from it. It's just like shit going bad. It's just shit going wrong, which I don't know. It's sort of just like a film about how not to do, how you shouldn't have reacted to all situations. So I'm assuming
Yeah,
there's
right.
some aspect of like redemption in the third, but I haven't watched it yet.
I don't know.
Thing is, they're 3.5 hours long, and they're just so big. Like I can't do that.
It's a trek. It's a trek, and it's
It
a
is.
proper commitment.
But the
and-
first one definitely is fantastic. I was totally sucked in. I had no idea it was like the time was going past.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nose with glasses. Where does the creativity come from? The design is stunning. So something that I was showing earlier is make big boards about like the ideas that you have. So I currently have most of my ideas sort of like lined up here. Oh. And I was just kind of like sketching through and working out all the different links and things. And so all of these words are like things I know I'm going to take as visual points into the design. And a lot of the time it's just like searching through synonyms on Google, like words that are related, ideas that are related, concepts and stuff, and then finding ways to put it into a design.
So what was the brief for the character thing for Mystery
Literally,
Box?
the brief is just joyful in this case, but the overall one is mystery box. So I've
Very interesting.
I'm not going to explain all of it just yet because it'll take a while and I need to catch up with the
Yeah.
chat. But her mystery box is this big pot that she cooks stuff in.
Okay, yeah, because when I was looking at the environments and some of the other submissions, I was finding people were going, well, there's no brief, so I'm just going to make up some stuff. And
Essentially,
Thing-
there's very, very loose amount of brief at the moment.
that's true, but also there's the obvious narrative of Box of Mystery, right? So I was just seeing some people making an entry whereby it's a random sci-fi city, and it's like this just is, you're just making stuff up. This has, you know,
Yeah, so like the brief sort of briefly goes on to something about how this is a world of creativity and mystery and stuff. I'm just going like on that note, I want to try and represent all the genres that I enjoy. So like have everything represented in this world. This is the sort of steampunk / historical armor influence, and that's what it's going to
Okay.
be. And the other ones are all going to be like sci-fi and surreal and fantasy and stuff like that. So,
Awesome.
but all of these things, it's like they have to be made up by you as the designer. You have to like come up with these ideas to structure your work around. Otherwise, yeah, there's nothing really given to you, which is interesting. At the moment, I'm just trying to make sure that there's enough structure to link them all.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Brian, wait, so I haven't seen your whole progression, but you went through art school or self-learned with online resources. So essentially, I had a art foundation
You were
year,
self-taught.
but yeah, there was, even in that year, I was doing independent study. It was just YouTube, because the teachers knew nothing about what I was doing.
I was exactly the same. I went to uni to basically drink, and I spent all of my student loan. I partied hard for 2 years, and then I spent all of my student loan on Gumroads, and I slammed that stuff. And at the end of my final year, while I was juggling my dissertation, I entered the THU ArtStation competition, and my schedule was wake up, go into uni, slam coffee and Red Bulls, do my dissertation, which was on the Odyssey and the Iliad, and then I would get home, eat, and do the ArtStation competition. And I was telling my parents, they were like, you have to come home after you finished, get a job, blah, blah, blah. And I was saying, no, Mum, I'm doing a competition and I'm gonna win. And she was like, okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah. I was like, art can be a career, mum. And then
I'll prove you wrong.
yeah, I'll prove you wrong. Like that. And then yeah, I won. And so did TCK. TCK won the
Hell
professional,
yeah.
I won the student. And then we met at THU and it was magical. And
Was it
just
a
goes
proper
to-
magical moment, wasn't it?
it was magical. I remember you came onto the table and I was like,
It's
I
the
was
fellow
like, for a
golden
second I
ticket
didn't know
winner.
who you were. And then I saw your name and it all clicked.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's the other winner. He won. He
It's
he
us
did
two.
it.
We're the
And,
winners.
Yeah, and it was man, that was an awesome time. But it was also, I was so confused. Like I was like, why am I here? What's going on? Like, you know, for me it was
totally overwhelming.
it was so overwhelming, dude. It was so overwhelming. And yeah, it was absolutely crazy. But yeah, so I would say we're both self-taught. You're more successful than me, but you don't have to go to FCD or Brainstorm or like a expensive school to get skills. You can totally do it on your own.
Yeah, definitely. And it doesn't mean you should though, because like a lot of the time, yeah, you respond far better to, or some people will respond far better to having a guiding figure. I guess the one thing that we can both agree on is just that, at least in the UK, the unis ain't worth it.
Oh god,
At least
no.
not for teaching. For the
Dude,
experience.
I mean, for the life experience, for some people, it's really. I'm glad that we have job seekers allowance in the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I was on that briefly because my mum was like, it just makes sense. Like, technically, you are seeking a job at the moment. You're working towards that goal. You're eligible for job seekers allowance. So I was on it for a while, and it was really nice because the person who, like, my mentor was a part-time illustrator. So he was like, "Yeah, don't worry, I get you." And also, he knew that the work I was producing was getting there, was along the right lines. So he was like, yeah, don't worry. Like at some point, I think it became that you sort of had to start like applying to sort of any sort of job. And he was like, I know that you're very close to this, to the job that you want. And so I then just stopped, like, because I couldn't continue to take it. But it was really nice because instead of having to explain why I hadn't like applied to the local pub yet, he would just be like, you've done like 100 hours of work in the last week on your art instead. I get it. Keep going.
That literally sums up like like getting a job as a young guy in the UK. It's like, have you applied for the local pub?
Exactly. But that's the thing. My mum was like constantly saying, why don't you get some money on the side? And I was just saying, yeah, but anytime I'm not spending on this, it's just longer than I'm not gonna.
See, that worked out for you. Do you know what I did? I worked at Tesco's for 5 years, and I used to draw on the back of receipts while I was working because I was so hungry to go home and draw that I would take receipts. Tesco's, for all non-UK people, Tesco's is a supermarket, and it was hell. And I would often work what was called the graveyard shift, which is usually 12 p.m. till 6 a.m. And I'd spend a lot of that time printing off receipts and drawing on the back of them. And
because there's nothing else to do. It's not like you're having to interact with customers or anything.
Exactly. It was just mind numbing. And that really motivated me. That was a huge motivator.
Yeah.
To do work.
This is interesting. Like, as far as the motivation thing goes, it felt when people were asking me like, "Oh, what are you doing at the moment?" And obviously my response was like, "I'm just at home studying," and everyone's expecting me to say, "Oh yeah, I'm halfway through my science degree at uni or whatever." Somehow that was that was enough, especially since I hadn't long been going out with a girlfriend, and she's gone off to do medicine at Cambridge, and yeah, like her parents are just sort of going, oh, so what are you doing? I'm like, I'm studying art at home.
Yeah,
Like,
but
even her
out.
grandparents are sort of like weighing in, being like, oh, so is Thomas like is he at uni yet, or is he decided to go to uni? Because of course, from the outside, going to and studying at a British uni is just like the
standard.
It seems like the standard, and also an opportunity you would never miss out on. And I'm just like trying to explain, well, they're not very good for what I'm trying to do, it's all about like just having the best portfolio. That's all you need to apply. You don't need like work experience beforehand, really, which is sort of like the total opposite for anything else. Everything else is, if you can get work experience for something, then go for it, because it's going to give you a more valuable like insight into what a job needs than anything else. But
trying to explain it to the older generation is so difficult, because traditionally you get the degree, you get a job, you climb the ladder, and you learn on the job, whatever. But with concept art and digital illustration, there is no set path. It's entirely made up of your skill, and that's so difficult to describe to your parents as you're in school.
yeah,
At least for me, it was just a nightmare, and my only option was to go to university. And the compromise we made was, okay, I'm going to go to uni and do something academic, but I am going to do illustration. And so my teachers couldn't teach me concept art, so I spent my student loan on booze and Gumroad.
Brilliant.
And that's how it went, and you have got to put in the work. You've just absolutely got to take responsibility of yourself, which is what you did from quite young, and it worked, and it paid off so well,
But it's like I had an opportunity that I could, like, it lined up nicely. Essentially, I was able to, and that's not the case for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, especially when you're juggling a job, and
because I basically managed to just say enough and do enough like useful household jobs instead, that like I would essentially make my mum forget that she was trying to get me to work in the pub. So I could just spend all day at home instead.
Yeah, I just like I said, the job I had at the supermarket was motivation. I spent that time being miserable, and I spent that time in my head building a hunger to work and to get out of the situation. And if you work in retail, or you have worked in retail growing up, you will know the pain.
The other thing is, there's definitely different jobs in retail, but like, if you're interacting with customers, it can be far more fulfilling than like
I know.
Essentially, because you were just like restocking stuff, presumably, if it was
No, I was a checkout chick.
Okay. It's just a 24-hour Tesco's. That's what makes sense.
I was in a 24-hour Tesco's, and I usually worked graveyard shift, so I usually interacted with drunk people off of a night out, or because we were right next to the town centre.
Yeah.
Or people that had finished work and they were incredibly stressed out, and they had to take their frustration out on someone. And ever since, I have always treated anyone in shops with respect that is serving me at a cashier desk, because you don't understand how miserable these people are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's, some people really, it suits them well. They can chat with people all day. That's not my thing. I need to be able to express myself. I need to be able to put some creativity into my work. And I can't do that by mindlessly scanning items through it all day. But it was good to build a work ethic. You know, I think it's really essential to have those kind of awful jobs when you're growing up, because it really does instill some kind of work ethic.
Yeah, my equivalent, I was doing like a paper round, which was for me, it's just like, this is my exercise done. Tick.
You go around your town at 6 a.m. and you chuck papers.
So that's useful. That was fine.
Yeah.
Also, questions. Do you guys do portfolio reviews? It would be nice to. Unfortunately, I'm actually need to head off in about 5 minutes, maybe sooner. So, yes, it would be cool to do, because we definitely do feedback. I haven't for a while, but yeah, it would be nice to do. Maybe at the weekends, especially because I have more time. So I don't feel bad that I'm not just doing this. But at least for the next month, it's going to be hardcore just grinding out these characters, because I need to make sure they're the best. One thing you find frustrating is how junior assessment duffel counterparts are still underpaid relative to the standard tutor positions at uni. Yeah, it's, yeah, kind of fucked that they don't end up with quality tutors. Yeah, it's odd that, but I don't know. It's just because like essentially when so many people want the job, they can get away with not having to demand or not having to pay as much, because people will definitely still want it regardless.
Yeah, actually, a potential thing that may be happening is that when I get back to England, I might become a part-time tutor at the old uni that I used to be at, on the course that I used to be at.
Yeah.
Because for me, it gives me a nice.
It's a stable amount. It's a stable income. Yeah.
It's stable, and also it's just a nice, refreshing part of the week to not be designing all day, and instead I can help people out. And also, no one in my uni on my old course can teach concept art. They can't teach digital art. They're old school, and there's a new wave of students coming in that want to learn this stuff.
Yeah, I'm curious. Are you going to be doing remote work for Daimler, or is this the year? Or that would be the year up?
We'll see. I mean, it's a really complicated thing due to the whole Corona stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was supposed to move to the visualization department, and that never happened. And I'm still home office with advanced design. We'll see where things go, essentially.
Yeah. Also, do you have a character design tutorial? I don't have any specific tutorials, unfortunately. There's one thing where I was just talking about shape design on stream, but that's it. I'd like to start doing things like that, but I haven't yet. Strong beyond strong, farewell. Oh wait, no, he's not leaving. He's saying that I'm leaving. Of course, I'm really scanning through very briefly. Good luck on the contest. Thank you very much. Trying to learn the basics and have an understanding of fundamentals. I think a lot of that, even though Feng Zhu will tell you that he's not teaching it to you, you can glean from his videos in the FZD YouTube channel. So definitely go there. Yeah. Anyway, I think that has got to be it. It's been fantastic. Thank you for all sticking around with us as I very slowly poke at this piece, but yeah, we'll be more productive in the future, I hope.
It was very good chatting to you, bro.
Yeah, it's been lovely. You got to join more often.
Yeah, man, it was a good catch.
If you've got time.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to try and work and talk at the same time, but
yeah. Oh, it's hard. Like sometimes it works out very nicely. Sometimes today it just hasn't.
Yeah, but it's Friday. That's why it's Friday and it's late, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if Davy Lowe could marry an art style, it would be mine. That's so cute. I'm curious though, which art style? Because there's the one you're looking at the moment, and then there's a whole bunch of other like random things I've tried out. And it'd be interesting to also know if you think that they're actually all the same style, and I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, who's streaming at the moment that we can invade? Unfortunately, because it's late, like I never see people around. Well, I'm not following anyone who's streaming at this time, really. Although there is Hawaii, so I could just raid him because he's a good dude. All right, let's do that. Those knuckle paintings are incredible. Well, thank you very much. It was very fun. We're raiding Fly Upworks. Yes, thank you for joining. I hope to see you around again soon. Join the Discord if you haven't and you want to continue asking questions and stuff. I'm not very good at responding to them, but I'll try. And I'll be better now because I'm going to have more time. So, yeah. Farewell, everyone. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Bye.